Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Yo, 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 what's up, Panther fans? It's the C3 Panthers Podcast brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com. My name's Tony Dunn, and tonight's show is One Spark Ignites Panthers Ambitions as the Carolina Panthers go from a season that was on the road for a tankathon to where we were going to go for the next, months. 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, talking about who the Carolina Panthers would draft at quarterback at the number one draft pick has now turned into a turn. The tides have turned. The story has flipped. The script has flipped. And now we're sitting here going, the division is ours. The division is ours. Man, next week we have the Atlanta Falcons, division rival. We could take them and move into first place if the Bucs lose as well. I'm telling you, just one little spark has ignited this show. Cody Lashney, welcome back to the C3 Panthers Podcast.
Tony Dunn. There's no way I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than here hanging with my boys, bro. Look, all it takes is one W against Tom Brady, of all people, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get us moving in the right direction. We're feeling good. We have a big show tonight. How much do we believe in P.J. Walker? Would the Panthers be interested in trading for Bradley Chubb? Do we actually have a chance to win the NFC South, which is so bad right now? We actually do have a chance. And, Tony, we have a really cool announcement tonight regarding the C3 Panthers podcast that's big for us and big for where the fans might be able to find us. But first and foremost, you already know we're going to do it with the best damn Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know them and love them. It's our man David Screws, Hector Macho Camacho, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Joshua Hall, Kim Sanity, Muscles Marinara, Panther Gal 73, Panther Pickle, Rich Bowling, Skunk 8 Mysteries, The Real AP, Tim Estes, V the G, Y Big Jordan, and Underground West. Tony Dunn, boys, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Let's roll.
CK, we had Jonathan Stewart on the show a couple of weeks ago, and he kept referencing the 8-9-1 season for the Carolina Panthers. He continued to say that the Carolina Panthers and the fans should not view themselves out, that the players would not view themselves out, and he referenced that that was one of the benefits of having Steve Wilks leading this team. He's a guy that's been there and knows how to fight out of a situation like that and turn it into good. Boy, those words, they didn't sound, prophetic, and maybe when we went to L.A., but looking back now, they do seem a little prophetic, or at least we want to believe that, don't we, CK?
Certainly we do. I think at the end of the day, to have even a glimmer of optimism is something that we have been sorely without since that 3-game winning streak that Sam Darnold took us on at the beginning of last season. But there's also that inner part of every single Panther fan in this chat right now that is thinking, don't do this to me again, Panthers. Don't do this to me again. Don't get my hopes up, only to crash and burn and cause them to be crushed into a million little pieces. And we've been burnt too many times to be too excited about this, but damn, it feels good to have some glimmer of hope.
Greg, a win's a win. You know what? I don't know if you are. Is Greg the Debbie Downer of the podcast, or is he just man of realism? Is he, he's like, hey, he never gets too high.
Man of wisdom.
He's like, wait a second, you don't know me, bro. Look at my eyeballs. No. What I'm saying is how high are you right now, figuratively?
I mean, I think a little bit of both can be true with what you said there, being the Debbie Downer and kind of the voice of reason, because I always like to err on the side of caution with things, and I'm one of those, if you don't get your hopes up about things, then you're really not disappointed very often, which is never a good way to look at life. But as far as the Panthers right now, after Sunday, I think it is time to kind of enjoy this high we're on with them winning this game. And for some reason, like CK's right, like I have this love again. Like all I needed was a win. It fixed everything. And it shows you that winning can fix everything. But I don't know why I keep wanting to think that they're in it the rest of the season. And not even 3 days ago, I thought we were out of it for good. So it's just so weird.
Well, we probably shouldn't really think that we're in it,
Right.
Yes,
we should.
But for some reason, in my heart, it's just like, oh man.
I mean,
like I said,
on.
we have
guys,
teams.
come on. Let's just all we're doing is celebrating, Cody. We're not in
the
like
Debbie Downer, not Greg, man.
I know.
I'm believing. Look, we're gonna talk about this division later. When you look at the numbers, dude, it is totally not that hard to imagine a scenario where Carolina can come out on top. And we're undefeated in the division right now. So I'm keeping the hope alive, baby. Let's go.
Might I add?
Good.
I was gonna say, might I add? Tom Brady and that offense has looked almost as bad as ours had for the first 6 games of the season. So when you put that 2 and 2 together, it doesn't make you feel so bad about our offense. And when you see the improvements, man, we're going to talk about these ratings these guys on our team have gotten. But dude, we have Icky, who is rated like number 4 in the entire NFL as far as left tackles for year to date. Like number 4, which is exactly what we've been begging for. Not only that, Bradley Bozeman came in here and he blew up PFF on their ratings as well. Like these guys are coming to play and they have done a fantastic job. If you would have told me PJ Walker was going to come in here and blow this out of the water and not make a mistake, I would have said you're full of shit. But the thing that I think that is worth noting, if PJ Walker has a line that's protecting him, that's giving him the ability to navigate, to be able to get outside, to go the bootleg, to escape the pocket, even when it does start to break down and make those incredible plays, those throws that PJ threw on Sunday, if you didn't go back and watch them, bro, you could not have asked for a more precise location on every one of his throws that he made. It was unreal. Like the dude, I have no idea where it came from and why I'm so excited about it, because I know he's PJ, but damn, this dude just came out here and almost won me over for like, maybe we got him. You know what I mean?
We'll get you believing before the podcast is over, Tony.
This is well, no, it's not about a but it's like, hey, it's like, can we just say what it is rather than I'm enjoying it for a win. I'm enjoying it because I've got a reprieve from hardship.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the day, is like I don't necessarily believe that the team is positioned extremely better. Actually, no, man. Like it's like they're still the same team, and like that's probably the best they're going to play in so many ways.
I disagree. I disagree all the way around.
All right. The last thing is that I'll say about this before we get into the actual show is that this is what's great about football and sports. Particularly, I don't know, it's like we'd have to really do a podcast on other sports for me to make a objective comparison to this feeling that we have. But every season, like even with Matt Rule as the coach, we still found a way to generate this excitement that there could be success. From week to week, it's like you go and you have this feeling that all of a sudden now it's an awesome feeling to believe like that there could be, it can be. And that's a cool feeling. CK, you got something to say about that?
I do, because I know Greg wants to say something here real quick. First, it's different because we're in the middle of the season now. We've never had hope this late in the season, by the way. Second, Didn't you just call Greg the Debbie Downer of this group?
That's what I'm saying, man.
No, I know. Is that like
point.
he is that, and now I'm the old curmudgeon here. I am the oldest. Get off my lawn. But I mean, I'm not saying anything bad. It's just this is like first. I think I got a lot of opinions about the Tom. I think the people saying Tom Brady's washed. I think that's lazy.
He
I don't
is.
think
It's true though. It's 100% true.
what that he is.
Yes, 100.
I think he's
maybe
also
not
got
washed,
a lot
but
of-
he's just not. He doesn't need to be playing football right now.
I think
Tony,
you
Dude,
can tell your
Fifth
he's
in
gonna
this
have
league
this
and
little-
pass it, man.
Tony, let me
Dude,
just tell you,
empty
tonight,
calories, 8 touchdowns
tonight-
in 7 games.
tonight is probably going to be 3-on-1. So I'm just to it. You might have to do it tonight, man.
All right.
But,
8 touchdowns in 7 games. Hey, one silver lining, Tony. If you want something to look forward to, like I said, I think I brought this up Sunday, but it wasn't final until the 6 games got over. We only play 2 teams with a winning record the rest of the season right now.
Yeah, man.
Oh well, yeah.
every
There
team we
are
play
some
is
cool things that are going on. Like there's
So
some.
we
It
can
was.
back in.
You guys are right. It's not out of the realm of possibility. The 7-8-1 season gives us kind of a buoy to guide the ship towards in a certain way, to a North Star to navigate to. So I want to know your thoughts on the matter, folks. The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Is this one win a one-off win? Is this and I'm getting an echo now. I don't know why. Or I hear myself in the background somewhere. Is this a one-off win? Is this something to be hopeful about? Am I a Debbie Downer? Are you a believer? Is PJ Walker the truth? And did Bradley Bozeman make this line super legit? All some starter conversations to have as we go forward. But I want you guys to lead the conversation in the cat calls and in the chat room. The number's 252-228-5098. Before we get into the actual content of the show, I want to remind that the C3 Panthers podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. They're the leader in men's grooming products, particularly if you're going to keep it clean below the waist. And you got to be ready when opportunity presents itself. Just like the Carolina Panthers were ready this past Sunday. And when they came out onto that field, they were feeling fresh. They were feeling clean. They were feeling so fresh and so clean. And they probably would be happy to use a Manscaped product. If you go to manscaped.com and you use the promo code Panthers, you can go and get 20% off your order plus free shipping and support the C3 Panthers podcast. What you can get is all of this cool gear. Like my favorite is the men's toiletry bag that comes with the premium package. You can get the lawnmower 4.0 to make sure that you don't nick your balls when you are taking care of your junk. And really, I think the best stuff is this crop preserver, right? This is like deodorant for your balls. And when it gets, you don't want to get the swamp ass. Swamp ass is the worst, right? So take care of yourself, man. Treat yourself. The season is coming. Oh, the reason for the season now is to be there, to be present, to be active, to be ready for the moment. And you can do that if you use manscaped.com. CK, a Manscaped believer.
Manscaped believer, and I'm going to tell you this. There was a man on the field on this past Sunday who is just now learning how to manscape again. And because he wasn't prepared with Manscaped, he shit the bed. Tom Brady is out there on the market again.
Oh, yeah.
And he's, listen, the dude probably nicked some balls while he was using some off-brand shit, not using Manscaped, lost a lot of blood.
Deflated balls. He probably deflated his balls.
Deflated balls. You're 100% right. So definitely use that Manscaped code, Panthers. And, hey, listen, enjoy yourself, man. I tell you that if there's nothing else, the crop preserver is by itself worth every dime.
Amen to that. My favorite product actually is the best product to use right there. We're going to be coming up with our prize picks later. So this is not the read for the prize picks, but winners all around, baby. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, wait, except for Cody.
Shut up. Just kind of
Dude,
rub
I'm-
it in.
I'm smashing. In fact, like I may have
Wait.
been, I got crazy. I'm, you know, you get the bug of success in you.
Mhm.
And now I got some picks in. Oh, look, Taco Tuesday. You could get Steph Curry right now for a 3 free. You get 3 points off, right? So, but I got some entries going now, and I don't even know anything. Oh, look, dang it! Did I hit up? Already lost this one. I gotta stop messing with basketball. Gotta stop messing with basketball.
Hey,
All
you know
right,
what?
but
We need to start doing some more college football because they got
Yeah.
a lot of college football, and let me tell you, that's hitting
Yeah.
right now. So definitely, we're going to talk about Prize Picks earlier. Real quick, before I forget, our brother Nick Montero says he went 16-4 in the XFL. All he needs is practice. Talking about PJ the Walker Wonder. Hell yeah, man! We have a great show tonight. Tony Dunn, let's do this shit, man.
let's get
jump
into it.
Without
Let's.
further ado, one spark ignites the Panthers' ambition. But I said in the intro that we have a cool little bit of news for listeners of the C3 Panthers podcast, where you can find our audio podcast and where we might surprisingly pop up around the web. Tony, what do we got to tell them, bro?
Recently we switched our partner groups that we actually just happened this past week. We were formerly affiliated with what was Overtime Media that became AC Sports, but now we've joined a different conglomerate of a different network. And this network is the parent company that owns Fansided, which is the company that runs a lot of these these blogs or these websites like Cat Crave, and there's one on every sports team for every sport you could think of. And they've been around forever. I've written articles for Cat Crave 10, 12 years ago, and about Cam Newton. Oh, I think I had a great one about Cam Newton. And who was this dude? He used to always hate on Cam, and I wrote him a letter. He even laughed and tweeted about this letter I wrote him on Cat Crave. But Cat Crave is really a website that's been around for a long time that's been saved by Dean Jones, though. Dean, was kind of languishing there for a while, and he's really turned this into a powerhouse fan website or just media website. And now, since we have joined Fanside, we are the premier Panthers podcast that's featured on Cat Crave. So if you go there and you look at, if you're browsing whatever story on the 5 reasons the Panthers should have hope, or the 3 reasons that we shouldn't be too excited, or how the Carolina Panthers turned down 2 number 1 draft picks for Brian Burns, which is crazy to me. You can be looking at those articles and you're going to see our podcast embedded up there innately all the time. And to me, it's just nice to see the Panthers podcast out there in places that we didn't have to go and do it ourselves. You know what I mean? Hey,
Absolutely.
We're featured.
Yeah, and Dean Jones is a friend of the podcast. Like you said, they have tremendous work over there. And, look, this is a podcast for the fans, by the fans. Our viewership has been so incredible lately that they've essentially allowed us to be able to do things like this. So it's because of you guys why C3 Panther Nation is seriously coming up in the world. We love you. We appreciate you. If you want to continue to support, hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell for every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. Help us whoop up on the YouTube algorithm, just like Brian Burns did to Tom Brady.
Let's talk. Yeah. Witness the Walker Wonder. Witness the Walker Wonder. Witness the Walker Wonder. You say it 3 times and my man appears on the screen. PJ Walker comes. Look, we're familiar with PJ. Is that this team is known about PJ Walker for several years, is what was known as, I guess, or thought to be a Matt Rule guy in some ways. PJ Walker has found a way. You got to give this dude a lot of credit, man, for finding a way to make a living in the NFL and in the XFL. He wants to play football, man. This is what he likes to do. And when he's not given a lot of opportunities, but when he's given the opportunities. A lot of times he's made a lot of some of these moments. You think he's 3-1 as a starter in the NFL. And this week he came out and led the Panthers to a victory over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and had some of the most impressive throws you could see. And you really see why he kind of is a guy that hangs around in the NFL, because he can physically do things that a lot of guys can't. And he's throwing that pass in the back of the end zone to DJ Moore, the one on the sidelines that they actually overturned. These are bullets that are just physically difficult to throw. He can make all the throws. And he said this after the game. He said, I can make all the throws, but I had to learn I don't need to make all of them. Mm-hmm. And so PJ Walker's going out there and he made good decisions. I think that the offensive line played well for him. The running game opened things up, and this balanced attack gave him an opportunity to play the game naturally, and he capitalized this and threw 3 touchdowns? Was it 3?
Yeah, 3
One to
touchdowns.
DJ, one to Trimble. What was the
third?
A
rushing touchdown.
One was
Hubbard.
a rushing touchdown.
Yeah.
Okay. One was Hubbard. 2 touchdowns.
Touchdown. But dude, he made some incredible throws, and I can pop some up here in a minute. But just to kind of show you how good we're talking about, right? Exactly how good of a performance PJ had. He was the highest graded quarterback in the NFL, better than Joe Burrow and better than Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. And listen, part of the reason why I'm so optimistic, Tony, is because, you said that this isn't a different football team. But I disagree, man. And the reason why is because Steve Wilkes, as a head coach, has gotten the Carolina Panthers believing in what they are capable of. This is now a group of men who actually believe in themselves. More importantly, when you have a quarterback that's actually willing to push the ball downfield and get the ball to its playmakers like DJ Moore, and now you see the emergence of guys like Terrace Marshall Jr. and Tommy Trimble. Like, this is something that we never thought that we would be saying. But PJ Walker has literally provided us the spark at quarterback that we need. On top of that, our running game went berserk. Between Dante Foreman and Chuba Hubbard, we had 173 rushing yards. There is no reason why the Carolina Panthers can't pound the football behind our newly improved offensive line and continue to take shots downfield off play action, move PJ outside of the pocket, take some shots from midfield, which is where I feel PJ Walker is the best. And, dude, I'm telling you, man, all of a sudden, little old PJ Walker wonder has gotten people believing, man. I know some people still want to tank, but, dude, I'm done with the losing. I'm so done with the losing. If I go the rest of my life without seeing another Panther loss, it'll be too damn soon. We need good things to happen, not only for our team and for the fans, but for this podcast. So that way the post-game show doesn't have to be so damn depressing, man. Come on.
Fair points.
Yeah, go ahead, CK.
I was going to say, with what's talking about PJ and the ratings, so I want to point out a couple of things. Number one, PJ graded higher this week. I don't know if he's the highest at the position in the entire season at that rating. I'm assuming Josh Allen probably has one of those. But when you think about Icky, his grade in week 5 against San Fran, he had the highest graded for his position. He was graded higher than any other position in that week for the entire season of any other lineman. All right. Now, pair that with Bradley Bozeman coming in here this week. He's got the highest rated grade of anybody at his position for the entire season for his week 7 performance. So on our offensive line, we've got 2 guys who have the highest grade, a single game grade of anybody at their positions at least one time, all for the entire season, not just like that week, the entire season. These guys are balling out. And I know it's PFF and you've got to take it with a grain of salt, but dude, I am telling you, it feels like this offensive line is different and it's hard to not look at that and think that PJ Walker has a shot to come in here and show the world why he was the XFL MVP, why he was able to come in here with an actual pocket and be able to pass the ball so effectively. It's not a surprise. And that is where I think a lot of people are even still talking about, maybe we should let Sam Darnold have a shot if this doesn't work out with PJ, because he's never had an offensive line either. But I'll tell you what, PJ keeps playing like this, Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield are never going to see the field as a starter in this league again.
Don't get us demonetized.
No, only share it for you. If you do it for 15 seconds,
it's like this TikTok video I was like watching today, and all my TikTok just shows that I'm a hoe. Like my brain is is that like, but it was just like this. It was like somebody. It was like a flash of them in like lingerie. It was
Instagram, dude. My Instagram is nothing.
And I don't even. I just said, well, first we're not gonna get off topic. Staying on topic here. I like this comment in the chat where I think it was why Big Jordan said, I always knew that PJ Walker was better than Patrick Mahomes.
I think it would be funny if he just came out and said, I always knew PJ Walker was better than Matt Corral.
Why did this
never?
Why is this a team that reached down, dug down into the depths of their souls, found some fight and some grit, and had a good game?
Yeah.
Or is this a team that was weighed down by the blanket of Matt Rule?
I think all can be true.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
they both are true, to be honest with you. Look, it's like I said, I want to temper the expectations with this because I've seen this movie before. But I mean, I could swear that 2 or 3 weeks ago, all of us were talking about how much trash PJ Walker was. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah. Without question, I was.
No, look, PJ, I don't feel like I've ever dumped on PJ. It's just like, let's not look. Is that PJ is perfect for this type of role, actually, where you want him to win 3 or 4 games. It's not like
I need to see 3 or 4 games. I can believe it, and I'm not.
Oh, he can win 3 or 4 games in the NFL.
I believe he's capable of like doing this.
Oh, he can do this for more than 1 game. I promise you that. The thing is that the whole thing with PJ Walker really on this podcast has just been that you're not gonna give him the reins next year. I mean, just legitimately not gonna see him as a solo. He's like a temporary worker.
Well, there is a path to him having that.
Yeah, I agree. I think before you say that, I think it's easy to say based on what we've seen before and just say that he can't do it. But I'm willing to give PJ Walker the rest of this season. When you're playing,
there's no problem with that.
When you're playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, granted they're not the team that they once were when they went to the Super Bowl, but they still have a ton of really good football players. And then PJ Walker comes out and puts out that kind of performance that is being mentioned with the likes of Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes. Like, okay, man, you have my attention. And by the way, we also can't pretend like we've never known that PJ Walker has that kind of talent, because 2 years ago he started against Detroit at home and did a very similar thing, man. He was throwing dots all around the field. He has a live arm. I'm a firm believer that PJ throws his worst interceptions in the red zone, but I don't think we need to throw them in the red zone. I said you take some shots from the middle of the football field, and if you're able to get down to the red zone, that's when that big bad offensive line and our run game comes in and we punch it in the rest of the way, man. I think that's beneficial to our receivers and certainly DJ Moore, but it's also beneficial to the kind of quarterback that PJ Walker is. He has a live arm and he wants to push the football downfield, and that's when he's playing his best.
So if PJ comes in next game and he puts up a Baker Mayfield performance and Sam Darnold's healthy, not what do you want the team to do? What do you think the team will do?
So Steve Wilkes gave a press conference, and he said right now, even if Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold are healthy, PJ hasn't done anything to lose the starting job.
But if he puts up bad numbers next game, what I'm saying, like if he looks like he did the game prior to this one. next
Well,
game.
but then we're gonna play ring around the bum once again. It's
Okay.
like it's a vicious cycle. But
Yeah.
again, like we've been so down in the dumps the past 2 years, dude. Fuck it, man. I'm being optimistic. I feel like I have no reason to not be optimistic. I think like we have always had this inclination that the Panthers had a very good defense. We're starting to see more from Derek Brown. We're starting to see more from Brian Burns, who I think has gotten even better as the season has gone on, even though he's our primary pass rusher and everyone double teams him. I feel like this defense is poised to make us a competitor in the NFC South. It reminds me a lot of the 2014 NFC South, where it just seemed like no one wanted to win the division until late in the season. And I could see a similar run.
You
Damn,
guys
I
couldn't
subbed
hear that.
everyone. Fuck.
Okay, I was about to say. Well, I'm trying to do something here in the background that was. I need like 2 more minutes. Now let's talk about this. Though 2 other guys is Bradley Bozeman, and you guys might not think of it this way because Cody always can get the internet stirring. He knows how to push the internet button of people, but I don't. I typically don't have that innate ability. But I put up one tweet today, and it's got probably more likes than I've ever any tweet I ever had.
Yeah.
And the whole time, and I didn't even think it was that good of a tweet, but I do believe it in some ways. Or I know is Terrace Marshall Jr. may be the one of the biggest indictments that Matt Rule was a fraud, and Cody had a good response to this. He said, "You misspelled Bradley Bozeman." The thing about this is Bradley Bozeman comes out, and we haven't I need to go back, I guess, and watch him specifically, but graded high. Everything tells us he had a very good day, right? The eye test, the run game productivity, the continued what Steve Wilkes said, winning in the trenches, right? So that I haven't seen any evidence that he didn't have a good day. On top of that is PJ Walker had a fantastic day, and it was his first time starting at center, right? There's no, so this is incredible here. The thing that's bizarre to me about this is we all knew it. We all saw it. I want to be more excited about this, but we all why didn't this happen earlier? And this continues to just go back to the point of my tweet with Terrace Marshall Jr. to be an indictment of the Matt Rule era. It's like, how can this guy be? It's like free Malik. What is it? Who is the guy that was in prison? And he might still be for all I know. Remember they used to do the hashtag free
Meek Mills.
Oh,
free
Meek
yeah.
Mill.
Yeah. I say Malik. This is there are players on this team that we should be hashtag free Bradley Bozeman, hashtag free Terrace Marshall Jr., hashtag free Chuba Hubbard to the rest of the world.
How about this? How about this? Hashtag leader of men. Because Steve Wilkes is a leader of men. And to me, it's not a coincidence that you see all these positive changes start to happen as soon as Steve Wilkes becomes our head coach. And by the way, shout out to Dr. Rosen for the $4.99 love bomb. He says, at least Wilkes is the leader of men, unlike Matt Rule. Also, the like button needs the Hulk smash. You heard that, dude. And staying on Bradley Bozeman, why would we sign this man in free agency when our offensive line was so god awful last year, and yet you don't even give this man a chance? Like, it was literally an injury. It was an injury that gave Bradley Bozeman this shot when Pat Flynn got hurt, and it's just absolutely asinine that you wouldn't play the guys that you signed for these express purposes. It makes no sense in the world to me. Bradley Bozeman is a much bigger, strong man than Pat Elflein. He's much more built to play center. And to me, it's not a coincidence that all of a sudden after you trade Christian McCaffrey and after Bradley Bozeman comes in, now our run game just takes off like a bat out of hell. Like, dude, to me, Bradley Bozeman, and I know last podcast, Tony, you asked, what is the true indictment on Matt Rule?
Yeah.
You said Terrace Marshall Jr. To me, it's that man right there, Big Bradley Bozeman. I'm loving it.
Well, the argument for that is he did get hurt. He was announced as winning that position in the preseason, but he got hurt, and he was hurt for a while, and then that offensive line was actually doing a pretty good job together. And so I think that there was a not. I mean, I kind of understand the not putting him in there if there was a meshing happening of that offensive line. Because we all know what happens when you start to retool the offensive line in the middle of the season. Things get fucking crazy sometimes. But nonetheless, the fact that he came in there and blew it out of the water, it is still an indictment on that guy. And so I think that is again, I can't be more thrilled with the way this offensive line has been playing. And I'm ready. I'm ready for somebody to take that step in that quarterback position, because I'm telling you what, man, we're primed to be a really explosive offense if we can put this shit together in other facets other than just that offensive line. That's the hardest thing to build. We need Tommy Trimble to continue to step up. We need Terrace Marshall not to drop those balls. We need DJ Moore to continue to blow this off the roof. And we need those two running backs, Chuba and Deontay, to just continue to chug it out, because I'm telling you right now, if PJ Walker is that guy, this is going to be a hard offense to stop if they can get it together. But that's a big if.
So someone chat says Cody just likes to prove his shit takes. Hey, does anyone want to go back to Pat Elflin? Anyone in the chat? Anyone here on the podcast?
Well, let's not worry about this. Let's not worry about receipts and this and that.
No, I'm saying does out of everyone here, and I'm not even trying to shit on Pat Elflin.
It's not. This is my question to you. No, he didn't do a good job. He did a better job. He's better at center than he put. Here is the real question, though, is that, or if we want to go back and really look at the way that the Bradley Bozeman story unfolded, is that the Carolina Panthers in this offseason went and retooled their offensive line. Right, they found ways to upgrade it significantly. They drafted number one prospect at left tackle. They go and add Austin Corbett at guard, and they signed Bradley Bozeman, who was touted as a strong center in free agency. These were all distinctly made moves, right? And then when we get into training camp, though, the competition that was created by Matt Rule alienated Bradley Bozeman for a while. And while you said he was named, I think CK said he was named the starter, Matt Rule didn't say that until he was actually hurt. I feel like it was like right in that week he said, well, if I had to start them today, this would be the starting lineup. That was what he said. And he had never even run Bozeman with the ones yet.
Which is so stupid.
Right. Is like, we're looking at this from the outside going, we knew this should be happening, and somehow it wasn't. Now, interestingly, to segue this to a different conversation related, I was listening to this was Raleigh radio today, and the Adam Gold show. It's like around the noon hour, and Joe Person came on. And Joe Person, now what was strange is Joe Person is now speaking more confidently in things that we had speculated the entire time, kind of rumors. And now he is kind of speaking as those are kind of truths. And what I mean by that, an example of this, is he said Matt Rule had control of the 53. Matt Rule had control of the 53, and Scott Fitter was brought in here to play nice and be a nice guy and help navigate these waters. But these decisions are largely about player personnel on that field, and making this 53-man roster were guided and steered by Matt Rule. And so it didn't sound like this. It sounded like this entire Bozeman whatever, Eflin, the Terrace Marshall Jr., who was your guy, the guard from Alabama. These are Matt Rule's fingerprints are all over this.
Yes, all over him. All over. And if you listen to my original criticism of Matt Rule, is this man does not know how to evaluate talent. Meaning, he doesn't know how to take the best guys and put them at the best position possible for them. And that's always been a problem for him. And having so much control over the roster and the final 53. Yeah, man. And by the way, shout out to YB Jordan. He said Joe came on because Cody had to say it first. Hey, man, we don't normally drop too many sources, but the ones that we did, they're looking pretty damn good, man. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, to me, your offensive line, specifically your offensive interior, both of your guards and your center, those might be the three very most important positions in your entire offense because they provide the pocket in which your quarterback is going to throw the football from. And, yeah, you need to run the football, but you have to be able to pass it too. And if you don't have a pocket, you don't have a chance.
I was thinking about this subject, Cody, and you've been saying this for probably two years now on this show, is that it's like the new NFL actually makes this center more important, right? Absolutely. The center of the line. And one of the things, though, that really gives this truth is if you can't win consistently in there, you can't game plan to fix it. You can't. So if you have a weakness on the edge or something, like you can chip, you can put an extra, you can put the running back there to block, and you can do some things. The running back can't step into the middle of the middle of the pocket, and then screw up the entire throwing mechanics of the quarterback. So there's really nothing you can do if you lose that center, right, of the line in a passing NFL. The way that you could, the only way to negate that is like if you're losing that is to run the football. And in this NFL, you're running the football less, and you're running the football up the gut, off the what do they call it? A gap.
Yeah, right in the A gaps. And by the way,
you're doing that less and less in the NFL, so it becomes a more one-on-one situation between the guard, center, and the defensive tackles.
And if your interior is getting destroyed, then that means most of the time you're going to leave in a running back or a tight end to help block if pressure comes in the middle. So now that you're not having to do that, you're freeing up a guy to be able to be used as a check down or make him leak outside and have him go upfield. Like now your offensive playbook opens up to literally everything that you want. All kinds of different run plays, pin and pulls, which is incredibly important with your guards and centers, and just the pass protection. I cannot remember the last time the Carolina Panthers had a consistent downfield passing attack. It's been too long, and part of the reason is because we didn't have the offensive line or the quarterback to be able to do so. And that's why this win against Tampa Bay was so invigorating, because all of the components that we have been in such need of over the past few years, we saw them, man. We saw the downfield football. We saw the interior dishing out pancakes. Like, dude, right now we're rolling, man. I have no reason to not believe in this team going forward. I know it's a small sample size, but it's just what this Panther fan base needed right now, man. Without question. Before we go any further. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. We want to get your thoughts on PJ Walker, on Matt Rule's fingerprints on Bradley Bozeman, Terrace Marshall Jr. Am I the only one that sees a guy that could contribute to a team and someone who needs to just be given an opportunity because you drafted him for this to see if you got a player? I want to know your thoughts on this matter. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, and listen, before we go any further, there's a lot of people that have been waiting for a long time. We've already been doing this 45 minutes, and they're like, yeah, we believe in the Panthers. Yeah, PJ's good. Yeah, Bradley Bozeman. But it's the shame We need to be shamed, damn it. And there's only one guy who truly does it the way that they like. So why don't you do it how they like, Big Papa?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, I want to say welcome to winning football. Welcome to a Carolina Panthers team that somehow finds a way to give you hope in the most hopeless of times. You see Steve Wilkes come in here, take a team from tanking to competing in some way, shape, or form in one game? We can chalk up the Rams game to a short week, to an unfortunate circumstance. But I tell you what, you guys have come here to hear us talk about it, to continue to chat about it, but you haven't hit the like button yet. Well, I have one thing to say to all of you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame.
190 people watching, 79 thumbs up. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell so we can whoop up on that YouTube algorithm and get seen by as many people as possible, and to be notified every single time the C3 Panthers podcast goes live. We're always putting out new content on the channel. We're always thinking of new ways to interact with the fans. This is a podcast for the fans, by the fans. Tony Dunn, what's up next?
I want to know, CK brought this up in the chat, is what has one win 1 week later done to the power ranking, the NFL power rankings? We saw after that Rams loss where the Panthers did not even score a touchdown, is that we were at the bottom. At the bottom. Are we still at the bottom, CK?
So it's quite interesting. The power rankings, for the most part, we moved up a little bit for most of them. You know, I think we were pretty much at the bottom of the list for every one of these guys, except for maybe one person. Sports Illustrated is the only one that still has us at 32, which is hysterical because they have the Bucks at 8 still after their situation that's taken place. Sports Illustrated is garbage based just on that solely. They still got the Falcons at 19th and the Saints are at 28th. So they do have that maybe in the right spot. But somehow the Buccaneers lose not only to the Panthers in a handed fashion, but in a I guess convincing fashion, but they also lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers the week before. And the Buccaneers, 2 games in, have still found a way on Sports Illustrated to be number 8 in the league on their power rankings. Absolutely hysterical. But for the most part, NFL has us at NFL.com has us at 30. ESPN has us at 30. CBS Sports has us at 31. Moved us up 1 spot. Athletic has us at 30. And Pro Football Talk has us at 25. And the Buccaneers have moved or the 14 for them. But the Saints are at 29th in their rankings, which is I think fitting. But I tell you what, anything that has the Buccaneers based on their performance this year, anything that has the Buccaneers above 20 right now is an absolute travesty. They have no place being above 20 right now.
What's the highest that were ranked according to all of those?
25.
Okay.
People just don't want to let go, man. They don't want even looking at what they're seeing in front of their faces. They don't want to let go. It's like I mean,
yeah,
honestly,
but like, is that
saying,
what you're upset about, Greg? Is like, I'm not upset about the Panthers being ranked 30 right now.
Oh, I'm not upset about that at all. No. I'm just saying, as far as like the Bucks still being in the position they are and stuff like that, like people just aren't ready to let go. Like
I disagree with all of this Brady talk that everybody is having.
Brady has 8 touchdowns through 7 games.
He's playing on a team that has been decimated by the offensive line. Their offensive line has been decimated. Their wide receiver core has been injured, which is look, I watch him. He's making the throws, dude. He was off a little bit. He was off in this game, made some bad plays, but he had some that were there, dude, that were real. Like, it's not like he can't physically play the game anymore.
Right. And that's what I'll defend you, Tony, in this. I think that there's a failure across the board, similar to our offense, right? When we were doing really bad, it was not just one person. right? Baker wasn't helping things, but it was a failure across the board. Like drops to offensive line maybe not holding up their end of the bargain early on in the season. To again, Baker being bad and bad play calling. But I think that Tom Brady has a little bit of that mixed with the injuries. But the thing is like they had such depth, like for instance at wide receiver. You can't use that as an excuse. They had Mike Evans, who did have a big drop, don't get me wrong, but you had Chris Godwin. Russell Gage isn't a bad player. They had Leonard Fournette. The only thing they were really missing was Cameron Brate and some offensive line positions, which is a big issue. We all know that. But Brady is also known for getting the ball out really quickly. And no matter how bad his offensive line is, he's usually really good. He was bad. Bad.
And Tony, like there were some big time throws that he just sailed. I mean, he
missed some clear opportunities. I'm not saying that, but it's not. I think
dropped interceptions as well. Like JD said in the chat, there were like 3 dropped interceptions that should have been ours.
Well, what's irritating is there was one play that was just a simple out route, and Tom Brady throws the ball too far out, and the commentators even said, "Oh, look at that! Tom Brady put it in the right spot. The receiver just didn't run the route right." And I'm like, "No, Tom Brady just put it out there too far. The receiver was open." He said Tom Brady wouldn't miss a throw like that. Yes, he can. He's not perfect, and people just need to get that out of there. Look, he is still playing at a decent level, but he's not the guy that he was before. Before he could overcome these things that he had.
He wouldn't miss those
he's
throws.
45 years old. Huh?
He about threw an interception at the very end of the game. Like Tom Brady. Like that's the thing I don't like about Tom Brady is how much he deserves some benefit of the doubt. But I think you've also got to everyone refuses to acknowledge when he does anything bad in the media, right? Like, oh well, he's got a failure across the board. He does. But Tom Brady also looked bad, and he's not playing well. He's not playing good football right now.
Man, it's a new era. New era of football is Greg was talking about this on the post-game show, the changing of the mantle for so many things. But then CK sent us a message on Twitter, and it said that PJ Walker and Taylor Heineke both won on Sunday. They were both in the XFL, and Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady both lost to them on Sunday. Taylor Heineke, look, I want to get your thoughts, folks, and this is interesting. Let's go ahead to the next topic because Cody Lashney is so pumped about this team.
Let's go, baby.
And this opportunity to become a better, to go after the division. I mean, this guy's even thinking about trading for people. And look, is that Tom Brady's washed in this division and Cody Lashney, boy, I want to know, is he going overboard, folks? I want you guys to call in, but look, check this out. Is Cody Lashney thinks there's a change into the guard and Carolina found their guy. Let's see if I can get this, make sure this works right. Come on. My name is Willie. I keep the ladies. Did Carolina find their guy, Willie Beeman? Steaming Willie Beeman, got them girls creaming, got Cody Lashney like that. Come on. My name is Willie Beeman. Oh my goodness. That's what I was. First, I know he loves that movie. Two, I feel like PJ Walker is kind of like a Willie. First, he's like a undersized black guy that like is like he reminds me of Jamie. Not reminds me of Jamie, but Jamie Foxx was that. Yeah, has all the talent. Does not have the bravado of Willie Beeman though. No, but I know Cody Lashney loves that movie, and he's all over here talking about PJ Walker, and that's what I was doing in the background is converting that file download. Come on, Cody. Come on, Willie Beeman.
Oh, dude, that might be my favorite football movie of all time. I don't care what nobody says. That and Remember the Titans, and I'll probably even put that above Remember the Titans. And yeah, man, look. I know everybody thinks I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Oh, Cody, we won one game. Oh, Tom Brady missed some throws that he should have had. Oh, look, dude. Whatever. We've done the negative Panther fan thing forever now. If I need to get high off of this very brief light up that the Panthers have given us in beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, well, light me up, brother, because I don't give a damn. I look at all those other teams, the New Orleans Saints, who we already whooped up on, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we already whooped up on, and I'm sorry, but the Atlanta Falcons are always going to be the sorry-ass Atlanta Falcons.
We're one game back.
Than us.
We're one game back.
That's right. That's
now,
right. And none of these teams are better than us.
What is crazy about this is that if we were 3-4 right now as a team, we would not be giving up on the season 2 weeks. You know, it's like how you get to 3-4.
The problem is if we were 3-4, Matt Rule probably would still be our coach.
It's true.
That's the truth. But is that when you're 1-5, the idea of turning that into 4-5, like if one of these teams that goes 4-5, right, over the next 2 games, they're not like, oh, we had the worst season in the world. They're still saying we got to get above 500. We got to get above 500. It's one game away for us to be even. And at the very worst, we are going, well, I guess we could fall further behind if we lose. That's the key. We got to keep up. Now it's about keeping up in the race before we can pull ahead.
Did you know what? It's like the train was getting ready to leave the tracks. Oh, but the Panthers had to drop a big hot deuce right before the train was about to leave. And dude, that big deuce, that was Fat Rule, baby. We had to drop him off. We had to bring the Browns to the Super Bowl, if you know what I'm saying. But now we're feeling lighter. We're feeling better about ourselves. We feel like we lost 10 pounds of dead weight. And man, we made that train just before it left the station. That's how I'm feeling right now. And look, when you mention all the things that we've already talked about, the defense being legit, Derek Brown and Brian Burns turning it on, and we haven't even talked about J.C. Horn and Jeremy Chin probably going to come back this week, at least as far as I've heard, mixed with our offensive line playing better than it has in years, mixed with P.J. Walker giving us that spark that we've so desperately needed.
Come on.
And our man DJ Moore has risen from the dead, man. He has been revitalized, and all he needed was a come on. A PJ Walker wonder, baby.
Come on. My name is Willie.
I'm
telling you, bro. PJ Walker is that spark right now, and you're not pissing on my cornflakes, bro. I'm believing.
So much so, the number's 252-228-5098. Is Cody overhyped? I see some people in the chat going, look at these grown men. Yeah, damn right. This is the most fun thing to do on a Tuesday. You're a grown man watching these grown men do this shit, which is even cooler.
Sure.
Cody's so pumped. He wants to damn go trade for Bradley Chubb right now.
I mean, a lot of people were talking about it. I know that people think that we might still need to. We probably need to pay him soon. But hey, if we're just talking, and hey, it's a podcast. That's what we do. We're just talking. Imagining Brian Burns as the bookend to Bradley Chubb. I'm just saying,
insane,
man.
Insane. What do you think? My question: when is his deal? Is he at the same class as Brian Burns?
Greg, why don't you
if they were,
I think they're 1 year
and
different.
The echo is back.
You're talking
I
about
think
Chubb?
they're 1 year different. Yeah, Bradley Chubb, just what year was drafted. I think it was.
It's technically possible. Then you could do it if they're not in the same class because you could.
2018, Bradley Chubb. Sorry.
What was Burns? He was 18, wasn't he? I think he was.
Was he?
2019.
Okay, awesome. So you could find a way where you don't have to do 2 contracts in the same year. You have the franchise. You have the 5th year option. You have the franchise tag. for maybe Brian Burns. This would
And-
actually be a realistic way of like making through a free agent acquisition a dominant defensive line right off the gate, because you would have the money if you drafted a quarterback next year.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, as
and-
long as you're not going to go out into free agency and get a quarterback, which you probably can't anyway. I mean, you don't want to make a mistake like you've done in the past, like the Colts are dealing with Matt Ryan.
Oh,
So
terrible.
you could
We've been dealing with
draft
that,
a quarterback and roll with Matt Corral. And on the other side of Brian Burns, when you brought this up, I thought this sounds stupid. This might even be a good thing to do, even if you don't expect to be good this year at all.
Right.
Just to do
because
it,
even
like
if it doesn't, even if it doesn't work out, all right, let
just
him
go
to
ahead
the
and
free
re-sign
market.
him and let's
Yeah.
go.
But like, even if it doesn't work out, let him hit the free market just like Hassan Reddick did. If he's not in our long-term plans, I think this would give us another boost to fight for this division. And isn't it damned how awesome it is when you're not paying a quarterback all this money next year? We don't have to pay big-time quarterback money. Why shouldn't the Panthers use the rest of their dollars to bolster this football team while we have a good defense, man? And he went to North Carolina State, so he's already used to the Carolinas. Bro, I'm down for it, man. We have to talk about how much you would be willing to give up for Bradley Chubb, but with
He'd
what
probably-
we got back for Christian McCaffrey, we have the ammunition now.
Yeah, but I think that it's similar to the Brian Burns situation, right? When people are offering us 2 first rounds for Brian Burns, if we are to take that as fact, Bradley Chubb is in the same category.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
think so.
yeah.
I would love it, man. It might not be.
I would
rational,
wonder
but you
what
know
the
what?
cost would truly be. 28. So they're going to lose him, though. And they can't. He's in his 5th-year option right now. 18, 19, 20, 21,
Yeah.
22.
Dove
They're
Climate
going to
says-
lose. They probably
Chubb.
can't get a first. They probably can't get as much because they don't have next year. That's maybe what Brian Burns' value is.
He's actually not as good as Brian Burns. He's 5.5 sacks 1 year with 1 sack. Well, he did get 12 one
He was
year.
hurt. Yeah.
Hey, real
7.5,
quick,
yeah.
just so I don't forget about it. Muscles Marinara with the $5 love bomb says Matt Rule's the type of guy that wears a t-shirt in the swimming pool. Absolutely, he has that kind of vibe. And Tony's illegitimate bastard child, White Chocolate Espresso, says lost to the Browns by 2, New York by 3, 13-10 in the 4th versus the Cards, tied 10-10 in the 4th versus the Rams. In all those games, our quarterback played like trash. Thank you, man. This is what I'm saying. The Bills have been competitive. Now we have the requisite parts to put ourselves over the edge. I'm feeling it, man. And then people want me to temper my expectations. Don't fucking tell me what to do, bro. I'm feeling good. And look, I would be interested in knowing what it would cost for Bradley Chubb.
Yeah, I want the chat to tell us this. What is the cost of Bradley Chubb? Go ahead, you
So,
tell us in
by
the
the
chat.
way-
Call in at 252-228-5098.
Just to kind of add to that, Von Miller, his contract situation, he only had half a season left on his contract. So does Bradley Chubb. Miller was traded by the Broncos to the Rams last year in exchange for a 2nd and 3rd round pick. So would you be willing to give up a 2nd and 3rd round pick
Yes.
for Bradley Chubb?
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
and
If you get Von Miller
heartbeat, bro.
production, hell yeah.
Yes.
And a
But
heartbeat.
if we can essentially do what we did, where we still actually we would be basically getting rid of Christian McCaffrey's contract and getting extra picks, and then also Bradley Chubb at the same time. The only downside is having to pay him next year.
Which is fine.
You
Right.
got to
Which
pay
is
good
fine.
players. At some point in time, you got to pay good
You know
players,
what is
know?
that this is you can I'm telling you, defensive ends, this is like when he's about to come into his prime, right? He's had an injured season already. He's come back around. He said like this is Brian Burns. I'm telling you, you draft defensive ends, even the best of the best, some to take time to develop. So like You can't go and just add a defensive end in the draft next year and him be dominant. Even the best, like Aiden Hutchinson, is doing well, but that defense is struggling like crazy. And it's not, there's a learning curve for that position. Year 3 is when defensive ends break out in their career. Usually, year 4, like this is his time. You put him with Brian Burns, it could be instant defensive front dominance. And this would be a more balanced, I think, line with Bradley Chubb than, it's just like he's the type of guy who can do everything. He can play the run. He's not just like Burns. I won't say just like, is that Burns you need somebody on the other side that can do everything. I think Bradley Chubb is that type of player.
My only holdup is there's a two-part to this holdup. Okay. Number one is if Bradley Chubb comes here and we aren't a better team and he doesn't want to stay here and he comes here for half a season and he leaves after this, right? That's number one.
Would suck.
Number two is he does want to stay here and we pay him next year. You don't think Brian Burns is going to be pissed as hell that he's not getting paid before Bradley Chubb is getting paid? I know he has money left on his rookie deal, but the dude is putting up. We clearly value him.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You know what I mean? Like
the timeline could be problematic. All right. So let's just be honest here. Is that if you were going to do this, you have to do it with the idea that you're going to keep him beyond this season, right? Like that would be the only reason you would do it. And then the second is that it would only be great if you want to have him with Burns. Like if you knew that you could pull it off, like you need to be able to know that you're willing to, and that might be hard to do right now when you don't know who the coach is. And what their vision would be because if you saddled them with 2 big contracts and they didn't have a choice and they didn't that could hamstring that coach and or make them be kind of concerned.
I think the fact that after the Christian McCaffrey trade, we now have 2 4th-round picks, we have 1 3rd-round pick, and we have 2 2nd-round picks. So again, you're not even completely decimating your draft if you did decide to trade for him. And by the way, even like Von Miller with the Rams, get him to make a push, and then let him leave in free agency, and then pay Brian Burns, and then draft another defensive end, or go look to get someone else in free agency. There's ways to do this. Guy. Yeah, I mean,
we are 2-5, and you're talking about trading to make a push.
Hold on.
Here's insane, dude.
Here's the argument.
It's like it was insane talk I've ever heard.
Here's the argument. None of this happens until after Sunday. If we don't come out here and we don't show a dominant performance against the Falcons, do not be buying shit. But if we come out here and we put a
this is gonna be awesome. If we lose to the Falcons, like what is the exact? It's gonna be this conversation that Cody's having, but the complete opposite.
I get what you're
saying. Let's go to number 1 draft pick.
Yeah, it just seems like it's like I don't know, like the one more win like puts me in. That's kind of like how I feel about players who are like
it's like drugs.
We look at players in the draft and we're like they didn't go to the combine. It's like, well, did you really need the combine to really make that decision? Like, does one more win really sway you towards one way or the other? Like, I'm in limbo right now too. I don't know what to feel, but I don't know if one more win or one more loss makes me all in on either side.
Well, one more loss is like, come on now. There's it's crazy. This is what I was trying to say is like, this is this drug of hope, the drug of optimism is what we're on right now. Give us some more of it. We touched the high right now. Now we're chasing the dragon. Yeah. That's what my dad would say is don't chase the dragon, is like kind of trying to keep up with that high right there.
By the way, guys, if people are talking about Brian Burns not having a 10 sack season, he's on pace for 12 to 13 right now.
Yeah, he's playing great this year.
He's incredible, man. And I've said that you haven't even seen Brian Burns play his best football.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100.
He's continuously getting better. I think maybe even Al Holcomb coming back in as our defensive coordinator, which that's something that we we don't talk about enough. Holcomb has our defense playing lights out, and we're adding people back. You know, we might even see YGM take another step forward. So, you know, I'm pumped, man. Like, whether or not we start trading or not, I think that we have a good defensive core. I wouldn't care either way, man. If we decided to trade for Chubb, I'd be pumped about it and what that meant for our season. If we don't, man, dude, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, bro.
Went to NC State, by the way. Went to
I said
NC
that,
State.
man.
Okay.
He's familiar with the Carolinas. Bring him home.
I do want to do a couple plugs before we move on. One is you can help support the podcast by smashing the thumbs up button, calling in at 252-228-5098, or even considering becoming a C3 super fan. Look for the join button. For $1.99 a month, you can support the podcast and show your loyalty in the chat with your cool emojis. We're going to be added. Now we got to add a Wilkes emoji. We got to add a Wilkes emoji right now. That's what we got to do this. We're doing that after the show. Is Wilkes.
Blue heart?
Oh, yeah.
Emoji.
Yeah. And so what we can do is you can, for $1.99, you get to support the show and keep us growing. And man, we have been growing crazily to the point now we're working on 5,000 subscribers. So I want everybody to call in at 252-228. Tell us if we're crazy. Tell us if you're having a good time. Are you on the drug of optimism? Or are you coming down from that high from Sunday? Are we ludicrous for trying to find a scenario where you could pair Bradley Chubb and Brian Burns together? It would really make this defense this year so much better right away. But also, I like the long-term prospects of that. And don't forget, we're sponsored by PrizePicks. We're going to be doing those probably about 15 minutes. I want to do the PrizePicks in about 15 minutes. You go to prizepicks.com, you use the promo code C3, you get a 100% first-time deposit bonus on daily fantasy football sports. And you can make some real cash doing this. We had a good weekend. Greg had a good weekend. He had a good Sunday. I've lost my one tonight, though, but I got one coming up. I'm on Lamar Jackson. Who do I got this Sunday? I got right now I got some. I want to go to the cat calls next. I got Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. And I'm rolling with Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray on Sunday, or my daily fantasy football plays. But later in the show, in about 15 minutes, we're going to get to where we pick the Panthers. We'll look at both the Panthers prize picks and those who they're playing with the Falcons and peek around the league. Use the promo code C3. Cody, let's go ahead and jump into a few cat calls and hear what the fans got to say before it gets too late. We'll kind of work them in, and then we'll come back. We'll kind of come back to some topics and bounce around a little.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Hey, Joey the Blind Panther. And I got some conflicting feelings. And no, they don't have to do with tanking or anything like that. But how the Panthers make you feel after a win. You feel
perfect.
happy as hell. You feel great. You feel like we're on top of the world after we win. But then 2 days go by. And you know what it just feels like to me right now? We're on the top of the drop zone. Yeah, like when the drop zone goes all the way up and up and up and up and up and you're waiting for it to drop. That's what it feels like to me because, I mean, we are the Panthers. We have not won 2 consecutive games since the beginning of last year. Yeah. Never mind having back-to-back winning seasons. We haven't won back-to-back games. Okay? So, that is why it's so conflicting. Because, like, yeah, dude, like, I believe in this team, but are we going to play like this every week? And it's crazy because this division can be had. You saw the Buccaneers suck. They weren't good. They haven't been good. the Falcons are the Falcons, and they will blow a lead one week and come back for a bullshit win the next. And then the Saints are the Saints, and they have their own issues. So we can have this division, but are we good enough to go claim it? Are we good enough to go get it? And I will say this win does feel more convincing than the last win. Like, I was happy because we snapped a losing streak and we needed to, but we really shouldn't have won that game. I mean, the Saints, they sucked that game. But this felt like a game that we deserved to win. This felt like a game where we played to win. This doesn't feel like we were playing a beat-up-ass team, even though we kind of were, but we still played better than we did last time we won. And also, Matt Rule is not here, and Matt Rule was the root of all problems here. Anyway, guys. Wow.
That growl's getting deep.
Yeah.
I love the slow bellow at the
Yeah.
start. Yeah, it's perfect, man. Joey's killing that growl.
The call was right on time, too.
1000%, man. It's like, and look, it even got me thinking, you know, while Joey was talking, you know, not only do we feel so much, you know, better after a W like that, but I'm even say, like, I've already made the comparison between 2014 and this season. And it kind of seems like no one wants in the NFC South. Like, it's like that every team is trying to get out of their own way before another division rival does it. I'm even to the point where I think these other teams are so bad. Even if we lose a few games, man, I'm not going back down in the dumps like I was before when this team had no hope. I think we cut off a tremendous tumor in Matt Rule. I felt like we offloaded Christian McCaffrey. And for as much as we love the dude, he was such a crutch for our offense that now we're finally able to open it up more instead of having to force feed the Ferrari like Jonathan Stewart was saying. And I just think that, you know, even if we lose, we are now in a position to be more competitive going forward than we ever have been. And I think that we should ride that momentum.
If you look at Jonathan Stewart kept referencing the 2014 season when he came in onto the show, right, a couple of weeks ago. And I tell you this, is that if you go and look at the season, it's just where did the losing start, I guess. For us, it started at the beginning of the season. You go start 1-5. Look at this stretch that the Panthers, they win the first two, right? They go 2-2 through 4 games. They go 3-2 through 5. And then in week 6, they tie with the Bengals. And then after that, go on a 6-game losing streak. Right? Only in the last 4
convincing losses too. Like,
yeah, you're right. Look at that. Set 38. Green Bay puts 38 up on you. The Seahawks, that typical old school Seahawks game. You lose 28-10 against New Orleans Saints. 45-21 in the Eagles beat you down on the road. Or you're on the road. Falcons, you lose at home in a kind of a close one. Get blown out again by the Minnesota Vikings, but then somehow turn it around in the last 4 weeks.
41-10, New Orleans, close games against Tampa and Cleveland, and then a blowout for the Falcons, 34-3. It was convincing wins, at least for a good portion of that, but that was, you're not wrong. That was a very,
That looks better on this screen.
that was a great way to end the season.
I mean, look, 6 straight losses in a row that you had in that season, man. And it's like we were still able to come out on top. You know, the fact that this division is bad, like, look, and I'll be real with you, man. Like, I think just as a football team, with the weapons that we have, you know, obviously we don't have a prime Cam Newton, which you would always be the better for if you had. But I even kind of like this team better, man. Like this offensive line, I think is doing things that we have not seen an offensive line do maybe ever. Like, how about this? We were all talking up Rashawn Slater last year for how good he was as a rookie left tackle. But how about this, man? Ikem Ekwonu is now doing similar things. He is consistently one of the highest graded linemen in the NFL. Like that is that's such a problem that we have not had in forever in the NFC South, man. And it all starts with the trenches. I feel like on defense, Derek Brown is playing better football than he has ever played. He's allowing everyone else to play faster. Brian Burns is continuing to be the best. And if football is won in the trenches, well, oh, dude, let me tell you, I'm loving what we have right now, man. Our trenches are better than they have been maybe since 2015.
Well, the other teams have definitely left the door open for us, like I said, to back into the playoffs this year. And it's funny because at the beginning of the year, I think we were even talking about, or everybody else was talking about the NFC South being one of the strongest divisions and how there could be 3 NFC teams going to the playoffs out of this league. And the NFC, was it East, with the Dallas and then the Giants being one of the weakest ones. And it's just the exact opposite of that. Like there may be 3 teams going out of the playoffs out of that division, but nobody wants to win this division, man. They're making it so somebody's going to back in the playoffs,
JD said, sticky icky. That man gets his paws on you. You ain't getting around him. Sticky icky. We put it in the air. Let's go to the next call.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Tyler. Hope you guys are having a good evening. I definitely think last Sunday was definitely something to look forward to for the season. I think it shows that if you have some decent play calling, decent coaching, and some decent quarterback play, what our team can be. I think, at least for me, and I'm sure other fans feel this way, where you're going down this horrible hole of how we've been playing all season, and then you get this little speck of hope. And I was already on the 2023 NFL train where I'm like, please, let's just lose out. We have C.J. Stroud, and as a fan, I know that we don't really suck as bad as our record shows. We have great talent. It's just we haven't had that franchise quarterback, and obviously us losing the rest of the season, we can get that through C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young or a couple of other players, but C.J. Stroud, my number one guy. But I definitely feel like, and it's a good feeling that to actually watch the game and like, wow, we're actually playing well, or look at that pass, look at that catch, look at the defense playing well. And so you want to see that, but at the same time, as a fan, I know P.J. Walker, if he continues to play well, he might be a backup for us, but he's not the future. Obviously, Baker Mayfield's going to be out. Sam Darnold's going to be out. And so if we're picking, 15 to 20, we're not going to get the cream of the crop as far as the quarterback's concerned. So that leaves a big hole, again, at quarterback. And so I feel like some of the fans want us to lose so we had that guy. I wouldn't be mad if we continue to lose, but we're competitive and we're playing well. I don't want us to, and I'm rooting for us to fully suck. So, I think that's, kind of like where some of the fans are at. I don't know what your thoughts are, but thanks, guys. Hope you have a good one. Talk to you soon.
It's like there's no reason for us to be losers. Every year we have said how much talent we have on this team.
Mm-hmm.
Every year, and everything has worked out in God's timing. Truly, I don't care if you're a believer or if you're atheist or whatever, man. Like everything happens for a reason, and yeah, we started out real slow, real slow, but it just seems like there's a momentum building that I feel like the Panthers are a part of right now. And fantastic call, man. And, a lot of people were looking for the draft, and my dream. And look, man, everyone knows I'm a Matt Corral fanboy. Shout out to my guy JD864, YB Jordan. They know what I'm talking about. They're on my team, which is Matt Corral's team. And I think that this guy has the potential to be our future. I know he has not proven that to y'all yet, and he's going to have to do so. I completely understand. But my dream scenario, if we're just talking, is that the Panthers pull out of the conversation for one of these top quarterbacks, so that way we're not talking about C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young, but now maybe you're talking about like a and it depends on where Hendon Hooker and Will Levis go. They might end up being top 10 quarterbacks that teams are willing to trade up for. And if that happens, that's good because it pushes other talent down the board to us. Maybe even a Will Anderson, maybe even a Brian Bresee, maybe a Miles Murphy. I mean, there's so many possibilities. Hey, maybe a Jackson Smith and Jigba, the wide receiver out of Ohio State that's balling out with C.J. Stroud. Like, all of a sudden, all these different options become available to us when building our football team for the future. PJ's the bridge. Matt Corral's the future. Let's roll, baby.
The number's 252-228-5098. Let's squeeze in a couple of calls before we go to the prize picks.
Yeah.
What's happening, C3? It's Hemlock here. I'm like y'all. I don't want to have too much hope, but boy, they look good. They look good. Anyways, one thing I don't agree on, it was said that if PJ keeps playing like this, the others won't see the field. Unfortunately, that's probably wrong because they paid too much in
I agree.
draft picks and money to put the other guys on our bench. So if Darnold or Baker gets healthy, they're probably going out on the field. Unfortunately, that's probably how it's going to be. They're not going to leave the third string quarterback in and have their starters sit in the bench, even if the third one played better right now. And again, I think it's all coaching, and Rule was just inept. That's just it. He was inept, and maybe he's a good college coach. He just didn't understand what was going on in the pros, and we suffered for it longer than we should have. I am very pleased with Wilkes. I've loved Wilkes for years. I hope he does well, and, maybe he can succeed here. There's a reason why he didn't keep going in Arizona, and, that just kind of makes me go, hey, can we get something better maybe? But anyways, there was a lot of ups to go on, and hopefully they keep improving. I'd love to see it. It's been rough. It's like we're the Aints when you look at the stadium during the games and it's empty. That's sad. So hopefully this puts a spark. I love my Panthers. I don't want to see them fail, and we don't need Tepper to have any reason to move the team. And we've got to go out and support the team through thick and thin, because if he's not making money, he'll go somewhere that they're making money. So that's all I got to say. You guys keep pounding. Enjoy the show always. Take care.
There's no way you could take PJ out if they're winning.
No.
Right.
That's the thing. There's one thing that will keep PJ in there, and that is winning.
Yep.
I agree. I think it should, but unfortunately, I feel like this caller's right. I feel like the money they've invested and what they've invested into it may change that.
That's a sunk cost mindset. The sunk cost mindset. And here is the thing: is imagine this. Imagine if they took PJ out, who was winning. They put in Sam Darnold, or say even worse, they put in Baker Mayfield at this point.
Right.
And then the Panthers start losing. Steve Wilkes does not get the head coach job. You can't do that with the lawsuit in the background. That is malpractice. What you could just say is you can't. And I couldn't even imagine if the Panthers went on a run and made the playoffs and then decided to start Baker Mayfield in the playoff game.
Oh, dude, I would hope every bad thing for us if that happened. But it's not going to happen. And by the way, that's why I like Steve Wilkes. he's wanting to go with the hot hand. And he was willing to give PJ Walker his chance, like with the quickness against the Rams.
Yeah.
And everybody was believing in PJ. And by the way, Jonathan Stewart, who also was a big believer in PJ Walker when we interviewed him. So a lot of the guys know that PJ has more talent than we're giving them credit for. Let me add some more optimism to your day. Right now, D. Alford, cornerback for the Falcons, is questionable. A.J. Terrell with the hamstring is questionable. And Jalen Hawkins, safety, is out. So they're missing their defensive backfield. This is perfect for us, man. Like, a lot of Falcon fans saying on Twitter that, man, their team is banged up right now, and they're kind of demoralized coming off of that Cincinnati Bengals loss. Man, I'm telling you, all the stars are aligning for the Carolina Panthers right now, man. I think that everybody should be excited. Get rid of that old jaded mindset that the Panthers have given you. There's a reason to believe that something is happening. And our man Steve Wilkes is the one leading the show.
252-228-5098.
It's Locks man. About PJ. I'm not throwing on PJ. PJ got to show me more than one game for me.
Damn.
To believe that.
Man, Locks. We can't. It's tough. Tough on the ears.
Locks was on his cricket phone, man.
I know. I like it, man. It's all right. We want to get some more calls in, guys. 252-228-5098. That we want to get your thoughts on this. Are the stars aligned as we I guess go on the road in Atlanta? We usually play well on the road against Atlanta, I feel like. I know that's the case with the Saints. And on top of that, the Falcons aren't a great team. This is an opportunity for the Carolina Panthers. You got to wonder if Jeremy Chinn's going to be back, and J.C. Horn would be very helpful against Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I want to, before we keep, while we're letting people regroup on the calls and all of that, I want to go on to the Prize Pick segment of the show. We are sponsored by Prize Picks, but I don't even care if it's a sponsorship. I love Prize Picks, as that if it's daily fantasy football sports, and it's fun. You can do it on anything. If you go to prizepicks.com or download the app, use the promo code C3, you're going to get a 100% first-time deposit bonus. And the way that Prize Picks works is you make multiple entries based on daily fantasy projections, right? So the projection for Lamar Jackson is 205 passing yards. So if we were going to pick Lamar Jackson, which I did, and I'm going to go ahead and show you my entry. Don't look at the one that looks silly. It looks so dumb. I'm not even going to show you guys this one. But
nah, you ought to show it. What?
It's so bad. So I got roped into the Taco Tuesday thing, and
no.
So I put
and who?
Oh, dude, look at this. I tried to get this hockey player on getting 3 shots on goal. He didn't do that, right? On top of that, McCullum has, I don't know if this game's still going. It's probably at the end. He's not going to get that. And then I went less than, because I just felt like 46.5 felt like a huge number. This is points, rebounds, and assists for Luka Doncic. And I didn't even think about this. This dude crushed that number, 55. Yeah. So here, that would have been $5 to pay 25. But here, this is the real pick of the week for me. And we're going to make our Panther picks. But this is what I went with last night. I was like peeking around. I put Lamar Jackson more than 205 and 0.5 passing yards against Tampa Bay. I'm rooting against Tampa Bay here as the stars are aligning. And I went Kyler Murray more than 250 passing yards against the Minnesota Vikings. So that's how Prize Picks works. You got to pick multiple entries. You got to do a minimum of 2. They can't be on the same team if you do only 2. and you have to have like at least one entry from a different team. So I guess they're ultimately kind of playing each other or playing with each other as a team. Lamar Jackson, though, if I put in $5, if I hit both of these, I win 15. So that is PrizePicks. If you go there and use the promo code C3, you get a first time deposit bonus of up to $100, 100% of your match. And what we like to do each week is look at the Panthers projections for player projections in daily fantasy football sports and that of the Atlanta Falcons. What are you giggling about?
Greg is saying that there are none. That there
are no.
Oh
Panthers.
my goodness!
Earlier,
there may be Falcons, but there are no Panthers projections. Yeah.
So what are the Falcons? Check the Falcons. Damn, PrizePicks disrespecting?
Just do all three of those.
No,
Just
it's not disrespecting.
Right,
you know what? It's too much of an unknown commodity right now. They're probably sitting there going, "Yeah, what?
Yeah, Saturdays will be more."
Yeah. Name a like I could see Christian McCaffrey being like a superstar worth them trying to put him on there, because it's easy to bet when it's somebody that you recognize, but DJ Moore and those guys aren't necessarily people that like the league recognizes as a fantastic.
Well, but also maybe it's because the Falcons have a lot of questionables, so they don't know exactly who's going to be playing, and they want to factor that in before they put up DJ Moore's
probably
numbers.
Good. This is why you want to get them early sometimes too.
Yeah, I was really interested to see what DJ Moore's numbers would have been. I mean, if you looked at his PrizePicks before the last game, he had failed to eclipse like 59 yards in one game all season. And my man did it in the first half. So, you know, I'm interested to see what the more or less number is going to end up being PrizePicks. So, hey, that means you got to tune into the Friday free-for-all this Friday at 7 p.m. When we see what the more accurate numbers for this game is going to be. Friday free-for-all, where you can join the show just like you see us doing here now. What were the Falcons' numbers again, Tony? Like, what were they? Anything? I mean, I know it's all really early, so it's not like there was something.
Oh, that's the wrong. All right, I was looking. I was like, that's not. All right, so right now it's Drake London. Where's the value here? I mean, I'm doing Kyle Pitts over. It's got to be the time. Like, what? He hasn't done anything all season.
What's Drake London's asking passing yards?
This guy has not gotten. Look, he had 9 receiving yards last week, 19 the week before, 25 the week before.
If Jeremy Chin's hey, let me tell you.
I know Jeremy Chin and J.C. Horn come back.
And by the way, J.C. Horn and Kyle Pitts, they had a fantastic matchup when Florida played South Carolina, and they were both on that team. They, they went back and forth, getting the better of one another. So that might be a match.
Dude, we're gonna smoke these mugs.
I'm telling you.
Isn't that messed up?
Tony.
That's messed up. We're gonna I think we could actually beat the crap out of them.
Let's go. That's what I'm saying, Tony. Start believing, man. We're gonna thump these clowns. That's 100% what we're gonna do. The fail cons. That's who they are. The fail cons. We're gonna thump their ass. Come on. Let's go, baby.
You know one of the coolest things about PrizePicks is that I don't know if we've mentioned is we saw it earlier with your picks, but I love that you can cross sports.
Yes,
you can do a basketball player with a football player. So like if you're only feeling solid about one football player that week, and there's basketball games or
we could pop over the NBA and get some late action right now if we wanted to.
It's really cool.
By the way, Tony, I'm so happy that you grabbed that drop. Dude, that gets me fucking hyped every single time, dude.
I got the whole song, but I mean, we don't want to play too much. But I like I think we could get away with just playing that little bit, like until he says we'll beam it.
If it's below 15 seconds, I think you're good.
So look at this. It's just like, all right, so what? All right, which one of these? What would you? I don't have great faith. I don't like taking a under or a less than on like a number and passing that low. Right? Is like that to me is a setup, a trap right there, because even if you win this game, they're going to have to pass the ball down the stretch to try to catch up.
Right.
So like if I'm doing Mariota here, that number's just so low is that I know that is that he has not hit that in his last he's only hit over that number one time this year.
You know what would be interesting? On Friday they'll probably have up his rushing numbers. Mariota has definitely been using his feet this year. He's definitely been using his feet this year to burn defenses, and his mobility is a part of their game. So I think kind of similar to when we played Kyler Murray, we're going to have to play contain. We're going to have to leave someone to spy. He's very mobile, very athletic. And, our linebackers are going to have to run around and make sure that we seal the edges and stop him from burning us on bootlegs and even some design quarterback runs that they do in red zone situations.
I like that Drake London right there. I would take the over on that 39. Is that 39 yards?
39 and a half. Yeah, he's got to get 40 receiving yards.
I would take the over on that.
I don't like any of these numbers, man. Like, I don't love any of the – like, I can't go less than against Mariota on this number. Like, I could see how it possibly could, but I just like – it's 160 yards in the NFL. If you don't get 160 yards passing as an NFL quarterback, it's just the odds are. I don't know. I don't like these. The one that you like is Drake London. I like Kyle Pitts more than just because it's like time. Everybody's just talking about it now. People are so upset in fantasy football. The noise has got to be going on in Atlanta. Like, why is Kyle Pitts not more of a factor in our offense?
I think I'm only partial to Drake London's because he's on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
And while he may not be a fantastic live action receiver for these 40 yards, but he's been a decent wide receiver 3. So.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I understand what you're saying, Tony. It's like it's almost like a trap. But at the same time, man, like if Jeremy Chin and JC Horn come back and continue to ball out like this, it's not outside the realm of possibility, man. I don't know. That's kind of too early. I don't even know if I would pick any of those.
Yeah, I'm looking around the league right now. Let's
Derrick
just
Henry over 100. That's who they playing?
Houston.
Oh well, yeah, he might get him.
Yeah. Here. What about this? Christian McCaffrey. Week 2, San Francisco in a division game. They've owned the Rams.
Yeah.
They've owned the Rams. They beat the crap out of them earlier this year. Now, after coming off of a tough loss against Kansas City, Kyle Shanahan is going to have something in store for you. And the Christian McCaffrey special is alive, bro. I'm totally going more on that this week.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like the stars aligning. And then, what about this? Jonathan Taylor, Sam Ehlinger is the quarterback that they have just replaced Matt Ryan with the Colts. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. They're going against a Washington Commanders team that plays tough late in the year under Ron Rivera. But you don't think they're going to give him a heavy dose of the run game? I like this, right? Ooh. And let's find one more because I want to triple. What do you think? Who throws a pick this week? Ooh. I don't love that.
Yeah, that is tough.
Tom Brady I think Tom Brady throws a pick.
Forcing it. Career
loss. A couple last year.
That Baltimore team has been actually pretty stout on defense. It's actually been my defense. I know they've let some people come in at the end of the games, but they've been a takeaway machine.
I like this.
Doesn't Lamar Jackson tend to throw an interception a game too, though?
I found it. DeAndre Hopkins, more than 67.5 receiving yards. Second week back. Cardinals could be falling apart. DeAndre Hopkins, fresh, rested, and going to make it happen like this. I'm going to go. I won a couple of bucks last week. So let's see if we can turn this 10 into 50 with daily fantasy football sports through PrizePicks. The promo code is C3. Gets you 100% deposit on your first time, a bonus or match up to $100. And I tell you this, a lot of people have been having fun playing PrizePicks. I know I have. Yeah. So we thank them also for their sponsorship. All right. Let's see what's next on the agenda. More calls. What do you guys want to do? Do we got anything else we need to talk about beyond the calls?
Let's do some more calls.
All right. The number's 252-228-5098.
Hey guys, once again, just want to say appreciate you doing this. I'll just get right into it though. I'll be honest, I'm a little disappointed at the blind optimism here.
Hey, we're fanatics.
You know, if everything works out great, then fine, that'd be awesome. But let's be perfectly clear here. PJ Walker's game here, on top of being kind of fluky, wasn't that great. He had less passing yards in this game than every game Baker's played so far this year, except for one. And the first game was atrocious, right? The man threw 60 passing yards, less than the very first touchdown pass we got Mayfield to Anderson, Mayfield being benched and Anderson not being here anymore. The offense at 203 total yards, less than the passing yards that Baker put up against the 49ers. No offensive touchdowns. You know, I mean, and a whopping 6 yards, not per attempt, per completion. You know what I'm saying? So, like, look, if I end up being wrong on this, then obviously that's awesome. But, man, like, after one game against a team that's not actually playing particularly well, that just got beaten by the Pittsburgh Steelers of all people, we're going to start going on talking about, you know, how this team is going to start winning the division and stuff like that. I mean, pump the brakes a little bit. Let's see if we can get a solid, maybe not even 3 in a row. Let's go 3-2 over 5. If we can get over 500 over 5 games or something along those lines, PJ Walker at quarterback, Steve Wilkes at head coach, I'll start believing at that point. But before then,
yeah,
absolutely not. This has been one game at best. Anyways, appreciate you guys. Like, share, subscribe. C3 Panthers Podcast, the podcast in the nation. Shalom.
Appreciate you, brother. Fantastic call. And Tony, might I say, nothing has changed from what I said earlier in the season, and that it's still prove it season. It's still prove it season. Just because I'm believing doesn't mean that it's going to come true. The Panthers have to continue to build on their performance, and PJ Walker has to, continue to prove that he's worth all the hype that we're giving him right now. So, listen, I completely understand Panther fans that are like, all right, look, I want to see some more before I start believing, and I understand that. But I think that one of the things that we can all agree on is that now that Matt Rule is no longer with us, now that we have a quarterback that is at least willing to feed DJ Moore and push the football down the field, we're in a much better position now than we were the past few weeks.
Yeah.
And can we also do a minute to acknowledge and maybe even give some credit to McAdoo at this point in time? I mean, I know we can't. Yeah. We got to see this multiple weeks in a row. But I mean, listen, he came out and they did listen, this is PJ Walker too, right? Even when he did win last year, he didn't look this good. And I'm not going to credit all Ben McAdoo for that, but I think it's fair to say that he called a really good game and a game that we had been asking him to call for a while, and that's what he was able to do. So I think it's okay to give him props. It's not to say that he's a great offensive coordinator yet, but it's okay to at least say, hey, listen, great job on that game. I don't think anybody's done that yet.
Absolutely. No, and to that point, again, I know it just seems like all I do is pat myself on the back here, but I've been saying that offensive coordinator has been a scapegoat. That until you are able to get a quarterback that can make some of these plays, then the offensive coordinator was going to look bad no matter who he was.
Right.
And now that PJ has the capability to push the ball, now all of a sudden you're seeing that our players are more open than a lot of people thought that they had been. So you're 100% right, CK. Kudos to McAdoo. I don't care what you did before, as long as you're trying to do better and continue to be the best version of yourself going forward. I think he has learned. And I think everybody in that organization knows what the fans are saying online and on Twitter. We've already kind of proven that. I don't think that died when Matt Rule walked out the door. So kudos to them for adapting and changing.
All right, let's go to the next call.
Yo, what's good, C3? How you guys doing, man? Hey, I just wanted to call in and get my 2 cents towards whole trading for Bradley Chubb. Is Bradley Chubb? I know his last name Chubb. I wouldn't be against it. If you're talking about giving away a second and a third for a guy of his caliber, of his talent, that would be a dope-ass trade. I mean, he's an established guy in the NFL. You pair him with Burns, with Brown on the D-line, and that could – I personally feel like the defense is 1 or 2 players away from being one of those defenses where if we get a 3-point lead or touchdown lead, you're looking at the defense like, nah, we got this. Like, the defense is about to go ham. But yeah, man, something I wanted to point out about PJ this past Sunday, and it gives me hope that moving forward, PJ can play at that same level. You go back and you watch it, I don't recall a moment in that game where PJ looked like he was uncomfortable. Like, that offensive line, bro, like that old line, like that was a thing of beauty, watching that man be able to just sit back. Like, as I pay more attention to football, I'm seeing like these good quarterbacks or quarterbacks that are having good games. Watch their feet. Like when dudes are sitting in the pocket and they're just standing there, that's exactly what PJ looked like this past Sunday. Man's feet was solid. He was on solid ground the entire game. Like complete faith and confidence in his abilities and in the offensive line ability. And that touchdown pass to Trimble. Go back and watch the highlight. That shit became available because of how much PJ was feeding DJ early in the game. When they snap the ball and they run that play. When DJ turns, because the corner thinks DJ is getting the ball, he sits, he hesitates for a second. And that allows Trimble to get behind him in between the safety, and PJ put the ball right where it needed to be. If we get that kind of play out of PJ, bro, like, there's no reason why this team can't be better than we all know that the team is better than what the record says it is. So I'm excited, man. And y'all lay out Cody. Cody be saying facts. Y'all don't want to hear it. If PJ lead this team to the damn playoffs, PJ's the quarterback from that season. And if it ain't PJ, it's Corral. You feel me? Y'all lay off Cody. Cody got shooters. All right, keep on.
My boy JD said that. He said that with his chest, y'all. PJ Walker got it. He's the perfect bridge to Matt Corral. And, dude, we're doing big-time things, baby. Let's go. Come on, y'all. I got shooters out here. Don't you know?
252-228-5098.
Hey, this is White Chocolate Espresso. I wanted to call in to make a comment on one of the callers' calls about how we might have to put Baker as our starter because of the sunk cost and what we gave up. I want you all to remember now, if Baker plays more than 70% of his snaps, that fifth we gave up turns into a fourth. This team needs to bench Baker to keep that fifth. Keep it becoming a fourth.
Good point.
This team needs to bench Baker. Play PJ. He's the hot hand. What I saw was fucking amazing from the clips I saw because I didn't watch it. But, yeah, we have very much incentive-wise to bench Baker. Peace.
My point is he did this against a good defense, too. I know they were missing some pieces, but when you look at the total points scored against this team, it's 124. We're the closest with 145. I think it was when we were looking at that screen earlier. I think the Falcons are next highest with 175 scored against them, and then the Saints have over 200 points scored against them. We're talking about doing. He came out here and he looked good against a good defense. And so I think that needs to be some credit there. And PJ Walker has done everything he possibly could to earn another opportunity to start this week. Because I'll tell you what, they gave Baker 6 opportunities or 5 opportunities, and he never once took the reins to try to make it look like he was a guy. And so right now, PJ Walker is going to be the guy moving forward until he's not.
He needs to be, right? I mean, like, it would be just silly to do otherwise. And Baker Mayfield hasn't done anything to earn any play time. And I'm telling you that I think my bastard son Kev has got a great point. You got to remember that draft pick. There's no really incentive of even playing Baker. He's not done better, and it doesn't help us.
And by the way, shout out to JD. He says Bucks hadn't given up a play of 20-plus yards all season. PJ did it 3 times in that game. Mm-hmm. So, again, there's so many reasons to believe. Look, man, we got to give some credit to my man, John. You know, Tony, we kick around ideas
we kick
around ideas for T-shirts. Bro, if this season continues to be a Cinderella story, we might need to make some C3 Witness the Walker Wonder T-shirts, baby.
Like him, like in a guiding light, Witness the Walker Wonder, like his arms outstretched in victory.
My name is PJ Walker.
I'm telling you. Let's go to the next call.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. Just kind of want to remind you guys that Atlanta, they've beaten our franchise more than any other team has. And every year I look for the same thing and look for a sweep, and it never happens. And I feel optimistic we can win this game. But there's just something about Atlanta, and every year the years I always feel like we're going to win, we somehow blow it. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I want to win this game, but I would not be surprised if we did drop it, because it's just what Panthers do. But if we can come out and win this weekend, and Tampa loses Thursday night, and we're tied for first at 3-5, we got a long hill to climb playing Cincinnati and Baltimore and some of these other teams coming up. But it would be nice to so far be 3-0 against our division rivals.
Yeah.
Good call, Chuck. Good call. Is that it would be nice to be. And look, I think Atlanta's winnable. I think you're right about that. You guys have convinced me on that. The other thing is, I hate Atlanta the most. That's the team I hate the most out of all of our division foes. I will like some people. A lot of people dislike the Saints, but for me, it's the Falcons. The Falcons, they're the ones that I have the real problem with. I've always hated them, and I've been to so many of their games too. Mike Vick. I'm glad. Never mind. I always have that bad dog joke. Let's keep going with the calls, guys. 252-228-5098. This is from earlier before the show started.
What's up, C3? It's Anthony from Charlotte.
Anthony!
Just thought I would call in and give my thoughts on this past game and everything that went on. I was actually at the game, so I got to see it. It's so weird being a Panthers fan right now, because we see PJ Walker running this offense, and it just makes you question yourself, like, why couldn't we do this in the beginning of the year? And it sucks because we got to take it week by week. I know a lot of people are optimistic, and that I'm not taking that away from you. You can be optimistic about the team, but I can easily say that I just feel like we played a perfect game of football, and I don't know if we'll be able to replicate that every week. Now, if we can, then that's awesome. But there are still holes on this team, guys. I just want you guys to know. And yeah, with that said, keep pounding.
Thanks, Anthony. I missed these 2 calls from the beginning. These are the 2 first calls. Me poor guys, I got skipped over. And our man Muscles Marinara next.
Hi, Zons. How you doing? Muscles Marinara here.
Hey.
Boys, I got to say, it felt good. It felt real good to punch the Bucks straight in the yam bags this past Sunday. You know, because usually it's us getting hit in the yam bag, so that was good. I'm still feeling good about it. And PJ Skywalker, I don't know where the hell he came from. Obviously the XFL, but boys played good, man. Boys played good. I'm feeling good. I know there's a few fans that aren't too happy about it. They want it to tank and lose every game, but I don't know. That's bullshit to me. Gambling on draft picks, but I'm going to enjoy it. Anyway, quick callback to the post-game show. Cody was saying he wanted to see some younger guys on the field, like the linebacker, Brandon Smith.
Yep.
I kind of want to see what Amari Barno can do opposite of Brian Burns, because honestly, Gross Matos, he really don't do too much. You know what I mean? Anyway, boys, that'd be it. Quick shout out to Joey the Blind Panther making the trek from Charlotte to Spartanburg to check out my shop, Monster Subs. Pleasure meeting the kid. Good kid. Even did the Panther growl on his way out, so that was awesome.
Nice.
Anyway, boys, let me know what you think.
Oh man,
have a good show.
So sad I missed this. This should
Bring
be the
in
first
people
call.
together.
I love it, man. I love it so much, dude. C3,
That's awesome, dude.
Bringing people together, man. Dude, I love that, man. Shout out to Muscles. Shout out to Muscles. Shout out to our guy Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel. Yo, that's incredible, man. And
Wakanda forever.
Hey, can I say real quick? Speaking of bringing C3, bringing people together, I've got a few people on Twitter who have already messaged me. But for anybody listening to this show that's not on Twitter, the Atlanta Falcons game. If you're in the 336 area, or you
Not
feel like
this
traveling,
week. Not this week.
Not this Falcons game. The Thursday night game. If you feel like traveling, or if you're in the 336 area, we're going to be watching it. The C3. We got a few guys already. They're going to meet me there at the Vintage Sofa Bar in downtown Winston-Salem. So if anybody's interested, we'll be there that night. I might bring.
I was debating making the trip out there. It's a 2-hour drive for me, but the only thing that would suck is the drive back after the game was over. It'd be a little bit late for that.
Oh yeah,
it'd be a great time though if you're in the area to go and hang out with other Panther fans. Look, bringing people together. Joey the Blind Panther, Wakanda forever, right? Is going to Spartanburg and checking out. Look, I mean that's awesome. That's cool stuff right there. I wish that was. Let's go to the next call. The number's 252-228-5098.
It's Corey calling in, giving my Monday morning take. Yeah, good dub. I couldn't see most of the second half when I watched clips of everything, on the Trimble touchdown and listening to the podcast, getting a little bit more context to the game. But yeah, honestly, there's multiple things that are true. My fault. Work phone blowing up. I'm talking about the Panthers. Gotta wait.
No problem, bro.
Yeah, multiple things are true about this team, man. So, like, for one, we are just a genuine overall better team with Matt Rule no longer in the building. And that's just a straight up fact. Like, he was a genuine cancer. Like, I hate to use that word, but, like, he was a cancer to this team just in the sports aspect of it. Like, you watching the defense make plays, Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns getting hype off fourth down stops, like just like making plays when it needs to be made. You see the team just rah. Like, it reminded me of like that golden era, like 2016, 2013 defense type shit. Just like the plays they were making, and like, okay, you can count on this defense. They flying around like multiple on the ball at all times. DJ Moore, like, smiling, bro. Like y'all remember you used to see DJ Moore cheesing through his helmet all the time. I ain't seen that nigga smile all year. And speaking of that, we're gonna talk about that. DJ Moore has balled out with PJ Walker. He's put up stats with Sam Darnold. He's put up stats with every lame ass quarterback we put ahead of him except for Baker Mayfield. You put Baker Mayfield in the game, DJ Moore can't even get the ball. Like, he doesn't even, so Baker is
yeah, bro, he needs to, like, he's never going to play for this team again. He doesn't need to. If PJ's got the job until he doesn't. If he ends up regressing back to kind of like the mean or gets hurt, Sam Darnold's going to come in, but Baker's not going to play another guy down for us unless it's like a legit emergency situation. Yeah, and I don't think he should. Speaking of PJ, let me go. I have to apologize to PJ Walker, man. I called in last week, said he wasn't good enough to be in the NFL. And you know, he's a nice player. I'm gonna run out of time, but I'm gonna say this quick. Those throws he was making, the one at Terrace Marshall, the touchdown to DJ, the one where he was rolling to his right through the DJ, like those were the best throws we've seen a quarterback make for us all season, right? So he'll be something. He's in between the two things that we saw the last couple of weeks. But appreciate y'all coming out on time.
Appreciate you. Awesome call.
Thank you for the call. Let's keep. We are almost done with the calls. We got 2 more. Let's see what we got here.
PJ made a fool out of us all.
C3 fam.
Oh,
my brothers.
Nick.
Guys, I was not expecting to win this past week. Okay. I am not disappointed in the slightest. I don't care if it may knock us out from that number 1 spot. Seeing PJ in there, man. Okay, I called it back when we first signed him 3 years ago. Okay, that dude, when we need to put him in the game, and he doesn't go in the middle of the game, he gives us that opportunity to win. You see how everybody else plays around him. Everybody else is more awake. They seem like they're happier to be there. They actually do what they need to do in order to get the job done. PJ can swing that ball. He's almost guaranteed to throw you 1 pick in every single game. But what he provides as far as spreading the field, that's what we need. Okay? And honestly, I think that he's been the best quarterback that we've had on the roster over the last 3 years. Except for Cam last year whenever he came in, but Cam never even got a fair shot. I'm excited to see what PJ is going to do this upcoming week, especially given the fact that now he's going to have his second week with the starters. You know, and I've said it for a while now that I think that that's what PJ really needed was time with the actual starters, to not be that guy that's the second or the third string quarterback where he barely gets any reps, or having to be forced to sit behind guys because they make more money than he does, and Matt Rule doesn't want that slap in the face. Steve Wilkes, it doesn't seem like he cares about how much money somebody makes. He just wants the team to perform and look competent. And that's all I've ever wanted this team to do over the last 3 years. We started out, except for this year, looking competent, and then we've fallen flat on our face because of Teddy Bridgewater or Sam Darnold. It's time to let this guy play. Let's see what this guy can do. And my hot take for the season is that PJ is going to start the rest of the season, barring injury. Love the show, guys. Listen all the time. Favorite podcast to listen to while I'm at work. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding, bro. Right on, Nick. Right on. Hey, man, it looks like we got a few more people drinking the Kool-Aid, Tony. Last time we talked, you know, you were like, oh, it's unethical. Or what was the word that we decided
malpractice.
to use? It was malpractice to start next season with PJ Walker and Matt Corral. Well, you know what? We're going to see. And I have a feeling, just like every time we do a debate my take, I'm going to be right again, big dog.
The Carolina Panthers need to trade Baker Mayfield to the Indianapolis Colts, who are in a division race right now. 3-3 Colts have just sat Matt Ryan and are going with Sam Ehlinger for the rest of the season, they've said.
Wow.
The Carolina Panthers need to trade Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold or both to the Indianapolis Colts, and we ride with Witness the Walker Wonder for the rest of the season.
Hey, man, you know how I feel, man. Like I'm all about getting Baker out of here, and like White Chocolate said earlier, man.
Would you do it if you were the Colts, though? They've made a ton of mistakes like the Carolina Panthers. No, you just go.
Look at what they've dealt with since Andrew Luck, or even before Andrew Luck. You have Andrew Luck, Jacoby Brissett, who did them no favors being there. Andrew Luck comes back, retires right before the season starts. Jacoby gets in there again. Then they get Phillip Rivers, who retires 1 year after being there. And then they go and trade a hefty amount of draft capital for Carson Wentz, who comes in there and he has good stats, but they lose to the Jaguars, who, as you guys know, based on their draft pick last year, was not a good football team, and that pushed them out of the playoffs. And then they go and trade for Matt Ryan, who's getting paid $40 million this year to be sitting the bench now. Bro, they are not going to be signing a new quarterback that is just because they're going to be going after a new guy in the draft. They are tired of the recycling, just like we are.
Yeah, and Tony, can I highlight?
They're one game
comment?
back. Yeah,
can I highlight this comment?
I saw it.
Tony went from a Cam sexual to a Baker Bottom to a Walker Stalker, baby.
Oh, I didn't see this one.
Oh,
Walker
gosh. Stalker.
Boy,
hey, Kev might have came up with it. That's what we are now. We're Walker Stalkers, man. We want to always witness the Walker wonder.
Somebody said, did Tony just change his mind in 2 hours?
I told you I would have you believe in, man.
It's not about, it's like, man, if we could trade Baker or Sam Darnold to someone and just get anything, like a 6th-round pick, I would be happy and ecstatic. Yeah. Like, I mean, that would be a win, even if we lost every game for the rest of the season, because we would with him being the quarterback right now. Good God. Can't believe it was so bad.
Hey, look, shout out to me because I was right on Dante Foreman. Deontay Foreman, I said on the Friday free-for-all, he's going to have a breakout game. I did say we were going to lose 27-6, but whatever. Man, he's a really good player. Shout out to him. He just needs touches. Like, these players just need touches. They need opportunity. Terrence Marshall needs reps. Like, he dropped his first ball and then had great catches after that. Like, bro needs reps. You can, like, literally watch him and see him getting more comfortable, and I can't wait to see what he's looking like by the end of this season. Also, I'm not in the Trey Brian Burns camp. Was never in the Trey Brian Burns camp, even before I heard that we got 2 first-round pick offers for him, which one I don't fully believe. Just because it doesn't make it makes no sense. Like, it makes no sense at all. Why would somebody who, leave it to a lot of these fans, keep telling us he's not that guy, he's not that guy? And you're right, he's not elite right now, but he's on the ascension. He's very, very, very close to it. But why would a team offer us 2 first-round picks knowing that we're selling, knowing that we're quote-unquote desperate, and if he's valued at being 2, like, why, like, whatever team valued him as those quote-unquote 2
I think they're
first-round
futures.
picks,
That's
it's
what I
not
think
how
they really are.
However it sounds. They're probably back in the draft or back in the first round or separated over 2 years or something like that.
That's what it
to
is.
the point where it's like those picks are going to be like very unpredictable. But I say it like this, man. Brian Burns is 24 years old. He's on pace for 12 and a half sacks and a career high in tackles and tackles for loss. Like, everybody chill, man. Everybody chill. We're going to have a new quarterback next year, a new head coach, and almost all of our core defensive pieces. Like, we got to, you know what I'm saying, we're still some holes we have to fill all in there, but you mean to tell me if we're looking like a good team next year with a new quarterback and a new head coach, somebody who can, you know, give us hope for the future, you're not going to be happy that we still got a 25-year-old pass rusher on our team who, not elite.
All right.
Cut off right at the end, man.
All right.
Great call otherwise.
It is Brian Burns, you know, going back to this is I have a hard time believing that the Carolina Panthers last week turned down 2 first-round picks. But tomorrow night we're going to get more information on this as we have the beat check at 8:00 with Josh Klein from the Riot Report. So we'll get into that and get some more details about what the offer potentially was. But the caller, that was Corey, and he's right about this, is that when you hear 2 first-round picks, it goes, oh, how can you not do that? That's how I am, right? It's like, how can you not possibly do this? But one is this is like they have to be future first, partially. It has to be. It's definitely one future first. But if it's like both first-round picks that somebody else traded for and got, maybe that they have stockpiled. I don't know who that would be. A lot of people kept saying the Eagles is the team that potentially could offer this. It's not just 2 firsts. It's like conditional first in a way, with the future. So I don't know. It still seems like a rich offer to turn down last week when you think with the feeling we had. It just seems like that. I mean, that's tough. But let's go to the last 2 calls of the night, it looks like.
Yo, C3, this is JD864 calling in once more. But there's a comment in the comment section, and I wanted to bring it to you guys' attention about PJ. There's a lot of people overlook last year's game against the Cards because Cam came back. But if you go back and you watch that game, PJ actually didn't play a terrible game last year against the Cardinals. Yeah. So the Panthers very much could be onto something. PJ could actually be a much better QB than we've been led on to believe due to rules and competency when it comes to this quarterback position, right? You have Sam Darnold, who looks like crap all throughout 2021, minus the first 3 games. Then he moves on from Sam to Baker, and Baker has not looked good in any way, shape, or form. PJ gets thrown out against the Rams, and the game plan, in my opinion, is what made PJ look bad against the Rams. I mean, if we got that version of PJ against the Rams, we probably win it. We could have won that game. So then you come out here, game plan is different. It's a mixture of the run, pass. They actually let PJ air it out a little bit. Again, just going off of the last, 3 starts that PJ's had, when you give him an opportunity to, hey, here's the playbook. I'm going to trust you to do what you need to do with this. Against the Cardinals, he got the team into the red zone on multiple occasions. Again, this past Sunday, those throws were amazing. Like another caller said, those were some of the best throws we've seen this season. Like, those are things of beauty. So the Panthers could very well be on something. PJ could actually be that XFL MVP might actually mean something. We might be starting to see that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. I got a lot of other stuff that's on my mind, but I'm going to save it for the free-for-all on Friday. So, hey, if you're listening, still tuned in, I know it's late back on the East Coast, pound the like button. I need you to do that. C3 be putting in work. The least we can do is hit the like button for him. Subscribe if you ain't subscribed. Keep pounding.
Appreciate you, JD. Yo, that's one of my Friday free-for-all shooters, baby. You already know what it is. We get down every Friday at 7 p.m. You can be on the show for the fans, by the fans. Hey, there was a guy in the chat room all night telling me I don't know shit. All I do is give hot takes. Well, come and tell me to my face, man. That's what the Friday free-for-all is all about, man. We have football discussions. Check us out this Friday at 7 p.m.
Yeah, the Panthers are giving us some takes to have, and so much so, I was going to look over here, is we are approaching the biggest month in the history of the show. I'm pretty sure. I don't think there's any month we're about to hit 100,000 views for the month on the C3 Panthers podcast on YouTube, just in the content we've been putting out. So check us out. We're here on Tuesday nights, every Tuesday night for the last 10 years. We have been doing the C3 Panthers podcast, longest running Panthers podcast. Wednesday night, the Beat Check. Totally gonna talk Cody into debating me afterwards, and then on Friday, the Friday free for all. Saturday, simulation Saturday, the Madden simulation, which has been the tea leaf reader right now. Last week picked PJ Walker to beat the Bucks, and we were like, hey, happened. So we got to see what the Madden simulation brings us on simulation Saturday. And then Sunday, we've got the post-game show, which is always a good time for callers to call in at 252-228-5098. Check us out on TikTok. Putting out stuff on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. We've got a lot of stuff going down. Don't forget, you can download the podcast, member of the Fansided Network now, partner podcast with Fansided. You can see our work on Cat Crave, which is cool now. And on top of that, you can download it on Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, wherever you get your podcasts. You catch those, iTunes. We've been doing, let's do them numbers there too. Tell a friend, be a friend, tell a friend. The last call of the night, I believe, was that. All right, I think we got one more. Let's see who is.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's me, C-Dog.
Yay, C-Dog.
I'm just not calling in. I don't know if my call is going to make it to the show, but I'm super excited. Real quick, if anybody going to be in Atlanta this weekend, C-Dog 1983 will be at the game this weekend.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you want to link up with me? My number is 910-257-7762.
Hey, if
You're
you
going to be in
want to
Atlanta
put
this
it out,
weekend.
let him.
Okay.
Now, when you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you motherfucking subscribe.
All right,
you know what I'm saying? These guys do a great. Number is 91. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if he wants to put it out, you know, hey, he knows.
So,
people
hey,
watch.
you want to link up with me? My number is 910-257-7762. If you're going to be in Atlanta this weekend. Now, when you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you motherfucking subscribe. You know what I'm saying? These guys do a great job with the content and putting out these shows every Tuesday, every Friday, and the game breakdown and the Madden simulation. Now, with that being said, I'm very excited to see what Steve Wilkes going to do and his defense is going to do this Sunday. All these soccer fans talking big shit, talking about we only 2-5 and all this bullshit. So I need us to go out here and kick fucking ass Sunday. So when I'm riding the train back to my car, I could be dabbing and goddamn doing Cam Newton celebration all the way, the whole ride, my whole fucking train ride.
I like
that. What I'm saying? But I'm very excited to see what Steve Wilkes going to do. You know, we could tell he's already turned the page and turning things around with this team. It started last week with he was putting up the word finish everywhere, you know. And you could tell, man, like the defense was just another notch. Even on that 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, you know, he said, nah, fuck that. You ain't getting shit. Derek Brown been balling. Everybody really been balling, man. Goddamn Barno got some goddamn burn last week. Only person I want to see get some burn who really ain't been getting no burn is Brandon Smith. You know, so Brandon Smith, to me, they need to go ahead and trade. They should have traded Shaq and put Brandon Smith out there. Go young. So he faster, bigger, stronger, all that bullshit. You know. But with that being said, man, I'm trying to make this short and sweet. I'm just very excited, man. I'm very excited to see what Steve was going to do this Sunday. You know, I hope he's continued to do a great job and gets this head coaching job permanently. You know, because you can tell the guys play for him. You know, this is the defense is on another level. You know, even the offense. You know, Steve Wilkes basically said, you know what? If I'm going to go out goddamn guns blazing. You know what I'm saying? We're going to throw this motherfucking ball around. You know. But I'm very, very excited. Everybody have a great day. Shout out to Z Baby, the motherfucking GOAT. You know what I'm saying? But everybody have a great day. Keep pounding. Hit the motherfucking like button. And make sure you subscribe. Keep pounding. Good night.
Man, thank you. Great call tonight.
Awesome
Great call.
man. C-Dog. He's the man, dude. He is the man.
It's so weird his evolution in the C3 community.
Yeah,
like
man.
he came in as like the biggest troll, and then like he is like our most loyal fan now at this point in time.
Dude.
Love that dude, man.
And everybody at one point in time, they were wanting me to ban C-Dog in the chat, calling him
What?
a Falcons fan.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
You
but
don't remember that,
everybody-
Tony?
Everybody was
What?
wanting C-Dog banned, bro, and I never did. I said, nah, bro, I fucks with C-Dog, and I stay on that, and I still do, man. Shout out to my man.
Lord. Man, you know what I love? I've made so many good friends on the internet just by talking Panthers football. It's a it's a nice outlet and mental outlet from my life. So you know, look, as we're gonna be here a lot, we got a couple more things to talk about. One is Henry Anderson has been placed on non-football injury list. veteran defensive end, who's actually made his presence known a little bit this season. I don't remember saying his name in this past game. I'm not sure. I have to go, but I've seen him make some plays this year. He's been held out with illness. Signed on September 5th. Played 6 games with us. So now he's going to be out for a little while. The Panthers have signed Larnell Coleman off the Dolphins practice squad and Tay Hayes from their own practice squad, cornerback. Kind of waiting to see if J.C. Horn will be back, but both Dante Jackson and C.J. Henderson were in and out of last week's win over the Bucs. So kind of some movement going around in the background, hoping Jeremy Chin and J.C. Horn can come back and give us some stability, particularly if Dante and C.J. Henderson are dealing with some injury. So that's like, I think, is there any other orders of business that we've got to talk about? I think that's about the news. Whether we didn't miss any. Did I miss anything, Cody?
No, not that I know of, man. I think we're good, man.
Okay. So shout out to all the people that are listening right now. Thank you for your support. You can find our work on CarolinaCatChronicles.com. We're now featured on Cat Crave as a Panthers podcast. You can download the podcast wherever you get it. Get your stuff at. We thank you for calling in at 252-228-5098. And Cody.
Real quick, before we move forward, can we get like a big shout out for Tony to make it through this podcast with a headache? Man, he started out today with this podcast with a major headache, and he's made it 2.5 hours.
Had the chills earlier.
Playing injured.
Shout out to Tony making it through the hard times, dude.
I don't ever get headache, but it's more about what is a headache. Doesn't mean you're getting sick. You know what I'm saying? So I came home. I was sleeping like a mug this afternoon. Anyway, hey, you know what? You got me hyped.
My name is Willie.
My name is Tony. Tony Dunn. The C3 Panthers Podcast.
That is a great pool, man.
I love it. It's so good.
Thank you for rocking with me, Cody Lashney.
Oh, absolutely. There's nowhere I'd rather be on Tuesday night, bro. You already know that.
How can they get after you?
We do nice.
Yes. We got it. Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Ice Up Tony. Woo, we can't miss the longest running segment on the longest running podcast. Let's roll. I got a good one too. I got a good one too.
That's how you know he had a headache, man. He was going to forget about one of the most important segments of the C3 Panther podcast, man. You already know what it is. It's time to ice some fools up, son.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Man, the Ice Up segment is where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up to get it together. It's our homage to Steve Smith and our way to vent on the world. We get to either any topic is open for an ice up pick where we tell them to ice up, toughen up to get it together. Who wants to go first this week? Anybody got anything good? I mean, I got something that I like. I'm not happy with my ice up pick. I got one. I'm not doing.
Mine is more personal. I try to make mine with broad appeal, bro. Mine is straight up fanboyism.
I'm going first then. I'm going
do
first. And let me see. Make sure I got to do my system audio here. Here, this is my ice up pick. Goes to this TikToker.
All right, pull your hatchets out.
Look at her face.
All right, pull your hatchets out.
Look at her face and shit.
Nope. Can't watch it like that. I can't stand watching somebody mutilate themselves, man. Even if it was an accident, it's like,
Man, to that TikToker who was trying to make her make her a little video where she was doing something, she used a real knife and then slashed her eye open.
She's lucky she didn't get worse than that.
Oh yeah, I mean she's safe. I think it's just like here, it's gonna be a nasty, gnarly scar right there.
She's about to pull an Eamon. You know?
Oh god.
Yeah, he's just about to aim in one eye.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was about to be bad. Like what an idiot holding the knife at the blade to you. Man, I'm telling you, the world. Now look, I love the internet, dude. I love it. Like all the fun.
I wonder how many people have died from
yeah, like doing crap like that.
That they were wanting to do. They're wanting to go viral
And never made it on TikTok. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Do it like you don't know because they died.
Yeah.
Somebody would release the video.
Oh man.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No hand-eye coordination.
Gosh.
Absolutely. Well, Greg,
ice up to that girl.
Yeah, mine's real quick and easy. And honestly, just that Amon comment kind of made that. I'm trying to think of anything to ice up, and I really didn't have one. It's been my anniversary week, or we've been celebrating my anniversary this last week, so it's been a good week. So I'm just gonna ice myself up. One, for not having a real pick, and two, for not listening to people about Game of Thrones when it was out. Because now I'm into House of the Dragon and I'm reading Fire and Blood, and man, it is freaking amazing. Like I'm past the point in the book now where it's tough to understand stuff, and now I've got a real good grasp on what's going on, and it is fucking amazing, man. I'm really enjoying it. So I'm icing myself up for not finding this sooner.
Dude, I'm envious to be in your position. Mine was 2012. I saw the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. I'm like, all right, dude, I've had enough. I need to read the books. And like before season 3, I powered through damn near all 5 books, man.
Yeah.
So I'm envious that you're jumping into this world, dude. It's my favorite. I absolutely love it. And I'm probably gonna start rereading it myself too now that House of the Dragon is over.
Somebody in the chat room said that somebody subbed to that girl that got her.
That's funny. CK, you got one? Do you want to go up next?
Yeah, listen, I want to be the first to say icing us up as a majority of the fan base who wanted PJ Walker gone. Listen, and I think mainly we can probably say Matt Rule, even though we can say Matt Rule's the reason he was here. But we also know this year Matt Rule was going to cut PJ Walker. There was no shot that they were going to keep him on the roster. I think they were planning on going forward with 2 people. And PJ Walker wasn't going to be one of those people. And it's clear right now, outside of the potential for what Matt Corral could be, as of right this moment, PJ Walker is the best quarterback on our roster. And I'm not sure even how close it is right now. But for all of us who jumped so headfirst into being Baker Bottoms, right now, I think we are going to be heading right back into the closet. And it's going to be one of those things we look back on and it's like, did you listen to Backstreet Boys when you were a kid? Yeah, no, I didn't really listen to them, but you rocked out hard to them. You know what I'm talking about?
That's me, by the way.
Right. You know, or like Nickelback lovers, you know, that's still, it's not like they were bad, but the Nickelback lovers are in the closet. You know what I mean? And so now Baker Bottoms are going to be looking back on the history of being a short-lived Baker Bottom, and they're going to lock that away deep inside the history of their fandom and never look back as we move forward with PJ Walker, the Walker Wonder.
Oh man, I don't know if that. I think that was a ice up to Tony at the same point. He said, "Lock your Baker Bottomism up in a locker and never talk about it again."
Oh, we remember for the majority of us, outside of Cody. And I don't know, Greg might have been a little more positive on Baker, but I don't know if he was full on in the Baker camp immediately. But like me and Tony were.
I was hoping it was going to work, man.
I think I fell in love with him, honestly.
I think I kind of did a little bit too, to be honest.
I think I think it hurt my marriage.
Giggle, man. By the way, shout out to your bastard son. I love the Walker Stalker. Like
Yeah, I
now,
like
if you're a believer,
I'm
in
a can.
PJ
Oh, that's a good
Walker-
one. And we're always gonna have to keep this thread running
Oh,
through
we
the
have to.
C3 Panthers podcast. So we go from Cam Sexual to Baker Bottom to Walker Stalker.
Stalker.
Wait until we get like Stroud. You know, you're gonna have to start working on Stroud. You're gonna have to start working on Matt Corral,
yeah,
and you're gonna have
that's
to
the one
start
we
working
need.
on. Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be something with big feet.
Oh,
That
platypus
was,
foot.
Yeah, it's gonna be something with big feet. All right,
dude.
everybody get. Oh, you got yours still to go, Cody.
Yeah, so look, I'm a Carolina Panther fan, and everybody knows that. But for those of you who really know me, I'm a diehard Clemson Tiger fan, man. And regardless of how much shit people want to talk, my Clemson Tigers are undefeated, right? But everybody likes to get in their pot shots at Clemson because they either don't like Dabo or they don't like our division or whatever. But Joel Klatt, and if you know Joel Klatt, he is the biggest Big Ten nut hugger that you will ever meet in your entire life, bro. In your entire life. He's nonsense. He said, does anyone think Clemson football could actually win either division in the SEC or the Big Ten East? Do you think they could finish better than third in the SEC East or Big Ten East? I don't either. Well, Joel Klatt, not only are you an absolute moron, but my Clemson Tigers have more victories over undefeated teams ranked in the top 25 than any other team in the country. We have the second biggest win in the country when we went on the road to Wake Forest, beat Wake Forest at home when they were undefeated. Then we just beat Syracuse. We have an NFL defense over here with my Clemson Tigers, bro. And the most disrespected Clemson Tigers, most dangerous Clemson Tigers. All in, baby. And to Joel Klatt, man, ice up, son. Go Tigers.
Go EC Pirates too. A big win for our program. I was thinking about this. I didn't even realize this. Is Kev White Chocolate Espresso is definitely. I think he might be responsible for both Baker Bottom and Walker Stalker. That's pretty cool.
He's got that gift.
Yeah, the gift.
And even if he didn't make up Baker Bottom,
I know he did. I'm pretty sure that's the one
credit
I'm the
for it.
most remember. That's the
You
one
know
I
what I'm
remember.
most concerned about with us right now?
What's that?
Like, we are the most convinced people at me and Tony of anybody on the planet. Like, we have Baker Mayfield come in here. We jump on his train immediately just because of this press conference. And then we have PJ Walker play one game this season after having a lot of uncertainty in bad quarterback play. And we're already Walker stalkers. Like, honestly, if you're somebody who's trying to sell something, just contact us. I think you've got an easy mark between me and Tony.
Totally. Like I'm on the PrizePicks, baby. Manscaped, and we're over here. We get the Cody. I wanted you to think about this and tell me how crazy is the guy from Wake Forest, that quarterback, a guy that could climb in the quarterback discussion.
Absolutely. Sam Hartman from Wake Forest. From
6'1",
Charlotte, North Carolina.
6'1", 215. He's throwing dimes there, bro.
He is, man. Dude, he's a baller. He's tough as hell. He added like 20 pounds of muscle. He already did what we want Matt Corral to do. And look, man, he was dicing us up. It was a damn good football game, man. He threw like 5 touchdowns. Sam Hartman is a beast. I could see him easily.
He could be in the Heisman conversation right now.
He could. And by the way, right now they're still second in the ACC right now. So like that's a good football team. I could very easily see Hartman being another Bailey Zappi this year. A guy that kind of comes out of nowhere.
What a story that is in New England.
Yeah, man, straight up.
They are. Can you go back to Mac?
No.
Return of the Mac.
Yeah, you can. You gotta go back to Mac.
If Zappy does that, Did you see what happened? Like, I
He
know
only
they said
had
that
one
they
good
planned-
drive.
No, he had two.
I mean,
That's
two.
more than
Mac Jones
Whack
did.
Mac. You can't go back to Whack
Dude,
Mac.
I can tell you this: like, if you had Zappy in there and you didn't give Mac Jones an opportunity to go 3 and out, or to have 3 drives that just did nothing and have that interception, and you gave them the spark that Zappy did at the beginning of the game, as opposed to after they were already kind of on their heels a little bit, I think that you have a better shot. Now, was the outcome going to change there? No, that defense couldn't stop that run game of the Bears for nothing. But Zappy has played really well the past 2 weeks, even prior to that. And Mac Jones has not had that type of performance at any given moment. And Mac Jones out here kicking guys in the gonads, bro.
Yeah, dude. He's always been a punk, bro. Remember when he tried to
Didn't Mac Jones go to
twist
Duke?
off? No, he went to
No.
Alabama.
Alabama. Oh,
You're
I'm
talking about
thinking
Daniel
about
Jones.
Daniel Jones, who I'm thinking about.
Daniel Jones.
I want to actually I lied
both
because there's
basic and
137 people still watching right now, which, gosh, they just say they want more. Couple of things just thinking about. Are the New York Jets for real?
Not anymore. They lost their offensive lineman and Brees Hall.
They just traded for Cam Robinson, right? Or not Cam Robinson, but who was the guy
James Robinson.
James Robinson. Now they're saying there might be in the market for with the Browns or someone else for
Kareem Hunt or
Conklin
or Akers from
They're like-
the Rams.
Yeah. So
They're
that's a
one of the
storyline.
surprise teams, but I don't even think they get past Miami and Buffalo in that division.
Mm-mm.
Like they've got a
I don't know.
tough climb.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Miami isn't bad, but like I know they started out hot, and they've had some injuries. They weren't nearly the same team this past week that they were the first 3 weeks of the season.
And realistically, the first 3 weeks, they weren't that great. They just had one really good game where Tua threw for 6 touchdowns. Beyond that, they really haven't been that impressive at all.
How about Jason Pierre-Paul is playing the Bucks this week?
Yeah, playing against the Bucks as a Raven, which is interesting.
He's a Raven.
Should be a Panther.
And I was trying to think of anything
that
else.
would've been
Christian McCaffrey in his debut. Were there any other?
Christian gets to
Did
go
you
up
guys
against the
did you
Rams
guys have
today.
any thoughts about why didn't we talk about this? The autograph thing with
It's
the
already been
ref.
talked about.
Oh, but seen it
Like-
quick that she posted.
Yeah, but some people got mad about it. In fact, a lot of people that I hang out with thought that it was like they thought it was a big deal. Like you just can't not only is a bad look, this and that, but like you can't have refs doing that. I think it was a nothing burger type story in the first place, and now the details come out that both the ref
They went to
and
Texas
Tim
A&M.
went to Texas A&M, and they were really just passing on a phone number of a golf pro to help somebody out or something like
so
that.
Mike Evans can take lessons.
Do we believe
And then
that?
somebody, I know. It's like, first of all, it didn't even look like he spent enough time to even sign the ticket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't even look like, I mean, when you see it, like, is that if he made his signature that quick, it's just a squiggle.
Right.
On top of that, he couldn't have wrote his damn phone number down.
Right. Well, and here's the thing too: is I mean, people you got to be crazy if you think that this doesn't happen anyway. Like just because we don't see it, like
Right.
you know it happens. I mean, come on. There's no way these refs aren't getting autographs and getting in good buddy with some of these players at some point in time. There's absolutely no way it doesn't happen.
That and like the whole like tampering stuff, they say like you shouldn't have. Well, there's tampering. They just talk to somebody who knows the player, and it's a way to get around. Like they like every one of these people are bending rules. I think this one is a nothing burger, but I also can say that I can see where the optics look bad, because if you're that much of an admirer of a player, how likely are you to call like penalties against, like you're going to have some sort of a bias if he is willing to sign your paper as opposed to somebody who's not. Now, whether that actually took place is the question here. But the league has come out and said that there's not going to be any disciplinary action, that they're taught to avoid situations to where they could be scrutinized. And so they are going to be, expressing that maybe they shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, I don't really know what it matters.
Well, also, it would have been a different story if, like, they had some egregious calls that swayed the game in the favor of Tampa.
Yeah, and we won. I mean, we
Yeah,
won,
we
but they're
won,
actually saying
and we
later
beat
down the
them by a
road these
lot.
relationships. Yeah, I agree.
How funny would it be? How funny would it be if he walked up and he said, "Mike, let me get your number real quick. I've got a jugs machine at my house that I think you could use."
Jeez. It's like cupping a joke on him, like it was like a picture of him bobbling the ball that he got him to accidentally sign.
Hey, can I get you to sign
you
this?
put it on the carbon, you put it on carbon paper. So that's what you got to do.
Oh,
It's
man.
like when we got Devin Funches to call in on the cameo and talk about salad. Look, 2 questions for Cody, but before we go, Justin, thoughts on Justin Fields last night? It's not a question. It's like he looked good. I thought.
Yeah, he looked impressive.
He throws a pretty ball, dude.
He does, and he has really good arm talent. He's mobile. He can run away from you. You have to put him in positions to be able to win, and they don't have a lot of receiver help up there. But you saw that when he did give his receivers a chance, he can put that ball on the money, man.
Yeah, man, it just spans nice. It just looks like it's got a good trajectory. That's all I mean by I don't watch him enough to say if he's a good. Obviously he's not a great passer because they haven't done shit.
You can't go on this. Like, my final thing with Justin Fields is that everybody wants to throw out the baby with the bathwater. Dude, shit takes time, man. Everybody wants a 5-star meal that you can throw in the microwave and have in 5 minutes. It don't work like that, man. It really doesn't. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to wait a little while. Hopefully they put some more talent around him.
I was going to say, my only issue with Justin Fields is it always looks like he's so scared just with his facial expressions. Like he's got kind of like that wide-eyed, like, I don't know what it is. It's just it's a weird face, and it just seems like it feels like it's a scared face, but it's just his regular face, and I understand that. I don't think that he's scared. It's just that's when I look at him, that's my thought. I just think he looks like somebody I don't think is an NFL quarterback. And then he starts to run those plays where he's running 20 yards down the field, and I'm like, damn, that almost reminds me of a Cam Newton type play where he was escaping the pocket and somebody's coming up behind him, he just spins out of a tackle. Like, it's really cool to see that, but I'm ready to see him take that step as a quarterback, as a thrower, because there were some misses that he had yesterday as well.
He has the most expressionless face.
Right.
It's just like you can see. I almost feel like you can just feel the pressure, just like weighing on it.
And he's one of the most hit quarterbacks in the NFL. So he's been hit a lot since he's been drafted.
Yeah.
So
he's throwing. Even when he was excited, he was like cautious to be excited about making a good play. I felt like. Last question is, how are the Chargers really 4-3 right now? Is it Justin Herbert? Poor guys right now are just suffering injury after injury after injury. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen has been dealing with injury all year. They just lost a defensive player. Justin Herbert even was dealing with an injury earlier.
J.C. Jackson hasn't been good either.
Yeah, he just is moved to IR today. Yeah. It looks like ruptured patella tendon.
That's rough, man.
They're in a tough division. Justin Herbert just lost his top receiver and a former Clemson Tiger, Mike Williams, right? And they heading into the bye week, 4-3. They're in the bye week. It's a good time for them to go into the bye week. What do you think about Justin Herbert? Is he's gonna how are the Chargers gonna fare through these injuries, Cody?
So he was dealing with a fractured rib, and I know
rib cartilage.
Rib cartilage. So that really hampered his performance. Their left tackle Rashawn Slater out for the year.
Another one.
Yeah, I can always remember Chargers, like the years that people like in the preseason when they predict that the Chargers are going to be a like clockwork. They're so snake bitten by injuries, and it continues to happen for them. I think Joey Bosa also missed some time, and I don't know if he's healthy right now either. Listen, I think Justin Herbert, he's one of the premier quarterbacks in the NFL. I would love to have that guy as a quarterback. But no matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, whoever you want to pick, you have to have a full football team. And when you're having to do it by yourself, things go bad fast. And we all know that firsthand with our very own Cam Newton.
You got to believe, though, that this shows you how good Justin Herbert is right now. Listen to these numbers: 65.9 completion rate, 2,009 yards, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Yeah,
it's like it's just tough. Their team is just, I wonder, they need this bye week. I wonder, we'll be watching that division. All right.
Keenan Allen and Mike Williams also hurt.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I haven't had Keenan Allen all year in my in one of my fantasy leagues. Thank God it's in the C3 listener league, which I basically I have no chance of winning that league. So right now I'm just kind of hoping, like right now, I'll catch a win like the Panthers did. All right, that's all I really had to talk about. That's the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. My name's Tony Dunn. Follow me on Twitter at @cat_chronicles. And Cody Lash.
Yeah, man, you can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. Dude, I'm always talking about something, man, going back and forth with someone, pissing off all the Twitter bots. In case you haven't noticed, I'm pretty damn good at that. So follow me on Twitter. Every Friday at 7 p.m., the Friday free-for-all, I host it. You can come on the show, be a part of the show, join via StreamYard, and be a part of the discussion back and forth, just like we're doing here and now, and be a part of that. I'm also still the writer for the Carolina Panthers on drafttech.com, where I write first and second round picks for the Carolina Panthers. And yeah, man. And now we're on Cat Crave, y'all. Check us out on Cat Crave, our new audio partners at Fansided. Man, with the C3, we're doing big things, man. We're moving on up. I appreciate each and every single one of you.
Greg, Geeks Chasing Squirrels Through the Multiverse, tell us how they can find your work.
Hey, man, at the Bat Daddy 52 is my handle, and then the show he's discussing there is my show on Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. It's Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse. It's just talking about all kinds of geek stuff, man. It's really fun.
This week's season finale of House of the Dragon, I'm sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be a good one. Let's see. We did Black Adam last week. I'm posting all the shows in small segments. We have a long show, like 3 hours usually, so I'm posting it in segments. So if you don't want to listen to the whole show, you got segments to listen to. But yeah, check it out. And I do want to mention one time before we leave, November 10th, Vintage Sofa Bar in downtown Winston-Salem. C3 Panthers get together to watch the game. So let's decimate Atlanta that night. And our first time black helmets, too.
Show your support and love for the real AP in the chat room. Said his mom had a stroke in August, mini stroke while in hospital. She's working on getting better, rehabilitating, keep pounding. She's living the keep pounding motto. Vibes, prayers, thoughts, whatever is like. Thank you for the support, and I hope your family, your mom's health improves. Certainly. CK, where can they get after you?
You can find me on all the socials at Codizzle Allen, and we do the Friday. Obviously, we do the Friday free for all. We do the Tuesday show. Sometimes I show up on the Friday free for all, but on Saturday nights, outside of the Thursday night game, we might have to do an additional or a different outside of the normal schedule for the Madden Sim. But we do the Madden Sim Saturday nights. It's been fun. Last week, I was rolling solo. We had a guy who was going to be coming on who confirmed and never showed, so it was just me, but we had some good times. Chat was live, and it's been predicting these games pretty accurately, not necessarily the score, but when it says we're going to lose, we lose. When it says we're going to win, we win, and that's been an interesting situation. So if you're interested in knowing what the outcome is going to be, watch Saturday night, and we'll see if we can get anybody else from the Atlanta Falcons fan base from podcasts or a beat reporter on there to do the commentating with me as well.
Fantastic.
Sir.
That's it. Let's get out of here.
C3 Panther Nation. Until next time, keep pounding.